victory. I think it sends a message of strength. We're very strong. We're much stronger than anyone would really understand.
The president also had some strong words for Venezuela and its military, as Linda Kenyon reports.
President Trump tells General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, not to put up with any threats from Venezuela.
If they fly in a dangerous position, I would say that you or your captains can make the decision as to what they want to do.
Or to put it more directly,
if they do put us in a dangerous position, they'll be shut down.
Trump spoke after Venezuelan military planes buzzed an American naval vessel. On Tuesday, U.S. forces blew up an alleged drug boat linked to a Venezuelan gang.
Trump lashed out at the $3.5 billion fine the European Union imposed on Google today over its advertising tech consultant Ensure.
The European Commission says that Google has abused its power in the way that it handles online advertising, effectively favoring its own display advertising technology to the detriment of others.
The Department of Homeland Security wants to use a military base in Illinois for federal agents and possible immigration roundups in Chicago. Senator Tammy Duckworth.
We will not allow the diversion of taxpayer dollars that were appropriated for military readiness and military training for Great Lakes to be diverted from that mission.
Dave Cohen reports National Guard troops will likely receive a much warmer welcome from officials in New Orleans, another city on the president's crime-fighting list.
Since taking office, New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick has driven crime levels in New Orleans to some of their lowest ever.
This superintendent's going to work with anyone and everyone.
She says if the White House sends the National Guard here, she'll find a way to work with the troops.
I'm going to collaborate no matter what.
She's already welcomed state police and federal agents to assist, but not everyone's happy.
We will fight the powers that be.
Protesters say it threatens the city's sovereignty. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
Texas Governor Abbott signed a bill today improving the safety of youth camps after the deadly floods of July 4th.
We are doing more than just changing campgrounds in Texas. We are changing the future for our children and for their families.
On Wall Street today, investors were disappointed in the August jobs report. Stocks finished lower, the Dow off 220 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a tense exchange at the King County Courthouse. We'll have a live report from that scene after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. In Auburn, northbound 167, right in front of Emerald Downs, we're just clearing a collision out of your right lane. Been there for a little while, so there's a bit of a backup, about a mile backup here. Southbound 167 is packed from Highway 18 into Sumner. It's taken about a half hour between Auburn and Puyallup. Tacoma to Olympia, a 1 hour drive. You've got backups through JBLM and again between Lacey and Olympia. Southbound 405 slows from Bellevue into Renton. Bellevue to Renton, it'll take you a half hour. Linwood to Seattle is a half hour. It's packed from 85th to I-90. Our Lake Bridges are still good. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both 45-minute drives. Northbound 405 and Northeast 85th, we do have a stall partially blocking your off-ramp. And Everett to Marysville up to 25 minutes. It gets really thick just north of this Snohomish River. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Families today clashed inside the King County Courthouse.
He assassinated my cousin while he was...
This followed a sentencing hearing for a teen who fatally shot a man on a bus. KIRO News Radio's Gwen Baumgartner is live at the courthouse with more. Gwen.
Aaron, just high emotions. As you just heard, sheriff deputies had to intervene between the families of the victim and his killer. A judge sentencing Miguel Riviera Dominguez to more than 23 years in prison today. This case, though, it goes back to 2023 when surveillance video shows Dominguez shooting and killing 21-year-old Marcel Wagner on a King County Metro bus. Now, Wagner, it looks like he was sleeping at the time when Dominguez, just 17 years old, pulled out a gun and repeatedly shot him in the head and neck. In court today, the victim's family asked the judge for no leniency. The judge then ordered a 280-month sentence, about 23.3 years. Dominguez will also have to pay restitution to the family. The victim's family tells me they feel that it's not enough, and that's kind of what prompted those clashes that you heard a few seconds ago. For KIRO Radio, I'm Gwen Baumgartner.
Thank you, Gwen. A woman dead, her daughter recovering after they got stabbed in their Kirkland apartment late Thursday night. Police Sergeant Eric Karp.
This is certainly a shock. So it's very traumatic to the neighbors, completely unexpected. This is definitely out of the ordinary.
He says the suspect is a man who's about 60 years old, appears to have been romantically linked to the daughter. She called 911 and identified him after the attack. He has been booked into the King County Jail. The man known as the Spokane South Hill rapist may soon walk free. The state is considering the unconditional release of Kevin Coe. He was convicted of multiple rapes in the late 70s and early 80s, though only one conviction still stands today. A hearing on his potential release is set for October 2nd. Fans of the San Francisco 49ers could outnumber Seahawks fans when the teams face off Sunday at Lumen Field. The national ticket reseller Vivid Seats predicts 53% of the stadium will cheer for the Niners.
I find that hard to believe, but it's not surprising because 49er fans do travel.
That is former Seattle News reporter Ryan Harris, who now lives in the Bay Area to help manage fans on both sides of the rivalry. Seattle police officers will be patrolling the stands while wearing 49ers hats and jerseys. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are seeing once again some hazy sunshine this afternoon, this weekend. Some scattered showers, partly cloudy with cooler weather as well. Right now, 74 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Don't take the law into your own hands. You take them to court.
Oh, good advice. Thank you, Doug Llewellyn. All right, boy, a big shit. Whoa. As encouraged by the listeners of the John Curley Show, longtime listeners, hey, why don't you bring back the thing behind enemy lines? Joe was like, what? I took it to Jacob, and he said, that sounds like a lot of work. But are we going to do it?
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Some guy from San Francisco?
Some guy from San Francisco.
People that you don't know anything about this, or you're new to the show. What? You don't know about it?
Nope.
Oh, it's great.
That seems complicated.
Well, you know what? It is. Coming in. All right, all you kids out there in YouTube land. Yeah, you're like, what's wrong with Curly's nose? Last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, Big Twig decided that's the puppy, the gigantic radiated puppy that keeps gaining like 10 pounds a week. Oh. I think it's huge. She jumped up on the bed and scratched me. I woke up in the morning and blood all over the pillow. Look at this thing.
That's why you were telling me. And now I'm putting it all together.
Yeah, thanks for noticing. All right, is the stuff that we consider news. We do consider this news. If I had to sound track of some news. Here we go.
Oh, I thought we were skipping that today.
Do you want to skip it all?
Yeah, well, we got Dave standing by.
Oh, that's right. Okay, let's get Dave on. Hang on a second. Let's bring him in with a really crappy song I just found 2 minutes ago.
Lawman, better grab your gun. Them 36 boys out on the run.
Yeah.
Lawman, better grab your noose.
Former sheriff and congressman, outstanding member of community and a buddy of mine. I saw a piece that you wrote, Dave Reichert. You're just simply, here's how we find a way forward on homelessness. And when we say homelessness, I assume you're using homelessness and crime and drugs and all the other stuff that falls under that gigantic umbrella of homelessness. Is that right, Dave? Yeah.
Human trafficking, mental illness, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to throw a couple numbers at you because you were in there. You were a King County sheriff from what years were you in there?
1997 as the sheriff until 2005.
Okay. You ready? So violent crime in Seattle from 1988 to 2012 had a high from 7,000 to 3,500. Per capita crime in 1988 to 2012 dropped from 150 per 100, down to 58. Violent crime, again, you probably know all these numbers. In Seattle, 1988 to 2012, from 7,000 to 3,800. Murders, 1992, 69. And then in 2016, it was 16. We're back up to 70. We'll probably end the year around 60-something. What happened, Dave?
Yeah. Well, we've decided that the criminals are actually the victims in today's world, and the victims are actually the criminals. So we've got our whole criminal justice system is operating in an upside down world. I mean, I can't say it any more simpler than that. We don't want to hire police officers to enforce the law, and the police officers that have the courage to work in some of our cities across the state are not encouraged to enforce the law. In fact, they're encouraged to kind of disengage from the community and not have contact with the community because they're seen as a danger and Gestapo. So not only do we not have enough police officers, but we're not allowing them to enforce the law. And we've already decided that over the past few years, we have actually legalized some things that were illegal during my time in the sheriff's office.
Yeah, and to speak to that, here's a crazy statistic for you. Drug violations, 2,800 in 2008. Drug violations, so this is reported, right? In 2024, 900. So you're telling me back in 2008, 2,800 violations, and we're only down to 900. So we have dropped that percentage in that amount of time because people just aren't doing drugs?
No, I think most people in Washington State realize that that's not the case. We realize that what's happened is we've legalized the use of drugs. In fact, we're buying drugs and drug paraphernalia for drug users on the street. We're encouraging that behavior, and it's sad because people are dying. And the reality is that until we understand that we have to hold people accountable, responsible, that's the caring, loving thing to do. Is to give people who are helpless, give them a helping hand. People who are hopeless, give them some hope, and then those that are homeless, well, we can give them emergency housing and transitional housing and eventually permanent housing. But we have to do this through a process of the real problem is we have a substance abuse problem and a mental illness problem. And those are the things that we have to address on the street. We have young kids, and I've met, in my career, little girls that are 11 years old working on the street.
You served the state of Washington in Congress from 2005 to 2019. You're not giving up on this place, but if you had won and you had beaten Bob Ferguson, when you ran for governor, what would have been the three things you would have done immediately?
Well, first of all, empower the police officers to do their job. And secondly, work, and I know this would have been very difficult because you have a Democrat-controlled House and a Democrat-controlled Senate, but you have to begin to change the laws so that people can understand that in this state we have laws that actually benefit people who are victims of crimes and not benefit the crooks. And I think, so specific to homelessness, I would have redirected funding to treatment and recovery, emergency treatment responses on the street, and then we can start talking about working with private and public sector together. The private sector is ready to come in if you have successful systems, if you can show progress, if you have the data to show that whatever programs you're putting in place are actually working. We know that today, when you take a look at what's happening today, we're applying the same stupid solution over and over and over again and wasting millions of dollars. I know major corporations have put in, Microsoft for one, I think last year, the year before, put in $1 million into the homeless issue, and it all went to permanent housing. That's not the solution. It's treatment and recovery, We have to have a critical emergency treatment response, public and private sector working together. And we have to also recognize that part of the answer here is to reconnect people with their families. That's where their support comes from. Part of this whole approach, obviously, you have to identify those people who are living in Seattle, King County, especially since we're focused on that during this conversation. But this also exists in Vancouver, Bellingham, Spokane, even other smaller cities here in the state.
There was a study that was done by the Discovery Institute when they went out and tried to find out how many people are actually homeless here in King County or in the state of Washington or Seattle. They looked at the numbers, and it was diametrically opposed to the data that we've been fed by the city and by the county and by the state. What they found is a lot of people come from outside because people respond to incentives. Somebody might be homeless or they might be poor, but they're not dumb. And they know, well, if I can go here and not be hassled by the police, if I know I can go here and I can buy drugs a lot cheaper than some other place, and I know I can be fed and I can live in a tent and I can live on the street, I'm going to go there. Not that they want those choices, but those are the choices that fit their needs where they are at that point in their life. So we have an influx. We have now, 16,000 or something homeless that are there. We're spending more than $1 billion a year, which works out to be about $160,000 per person. But there's a giant, as Dory, God bless his soul, used to say, it is an industrial complex of homelessness, that we just keep pouring all this money into these programs, but we never ask for metrics or hold any of these organizations, I could think of 3, accountable. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever says, the one gal's making like $350,000 a year, and the numbers keep going up every year. So to me, and we stop covering this stuff on the show because it's like we end up in the same place every time. It's a cul-de-sac of conversation. We're at the end of that conversation. We're at the end of the we're like, what are we going to do? We throw our hands up like, But for you, this hits very deeply for you because you have this love for this community, this state, and you see where it's going. But the first thing you said was people have more sympathy for the perpetrator than for the victim. Now, here's the question for you, Dave Riker. Why do you think that is?
Boy, I wish I knew the answer to that question because it took in our state here took a topsy-turvy turn somewhere where our so-called leaders of this state, city, and county have decided that that's where we want to go. I go back to, and I know some people don't like to hear me talk about Green River, but this is, my passion comes from this, first of all. John, as you know, I grew up in the Renton Highlands, ended up going to Kent Meridian High School eventually, but I ran away from home when I was a senior in high school. So I have personal experience with being homeless, not in the drug and alcohol abuse lifestyle, but living in my car and trying to maintain somewhat of a regular high school life in my senior year. But also, when I became a police officer and ended up as the lead investigator in the Green River case, I saw the tragedy of runaway young girls leaving home for a number of reasons, whether it's sexual abuse or just violence in the family, mental, physical abuse, and other forms. They left home because they were victimized. They went on the street. They ran into pimps and drug dealers. They were victimized again. And then they move on to the criminal justice system. And back in the 80s and 90s, they were actually victimized again by the criminal justice system. We didn't recognize that these were young girls who were in pain, who needed help. We arrested those people. Eventually what we did is we turned it around and said, you know what? The real crook here, the real perpetrator, the real bad guy are the Johns and the pimps. And that was an 80s revelation for law enforcement. And so we decided, okay, we're going after the bad guys and we're going to help these little girls and young women. Today, we've reversed all that. And now we even talk about, this is a sex trafficking trade. It's a business. Look, our young girls are being kidnapped, not only from families in the state, but across the state. In the Green River case, we found nearly 2,500 missing girls and women that we reconnected with families here in Washington state. They were from all over the country. So I know that a lot of the homeless people, a lot of the kids that are now engaged in human trafficking are not from the King County, Seattle area, or even Washington state. They're from around the country. We need to identify those people, help those people reconnect with their families, get them, help them, and get directed to treatment and rehab and job training and those things. And again, this is emergency housing. We're going to give them treatment first. We have to surround them with all the treatment, whatever their problem is, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or mental illness. But I do get passionate about this because I collected scores and scores, John, you know this, of the bodies of dead little girls and women. That's what I did for 9 years. Those memories don't leave me. And I know that's happening today. And there are families that are hurting out there who are losing their loved ones, not just to human trafficking and gunshots and stabbings, but to overdoses of fentanyl and other drugs. Look, when the state is spending money on TV ads to encourage fentanyl addicts to invite a friend over, you've seen this ad, to invite a friend over to do drugs, you think that a fentanyl user has the common sense to say, you know what, tonight I think I'm going to do some fentanyl. I'm going to call my friend Bob to come over, and he's going to watch me, and Bob's going to stay sober too, you know. He's not going to do fentanyl with me. He's going to watch me make sure I get some Narcan. Well, these guys aren't making decisions like that. They're addicts. We're also expecting them to say, hey, do you want to come off the street? And they're going to make a decision that's in their best interest when they're on fentanyl. There's no way in the world we should be expecting people to make that kind of a decision. They need somebody who's there with a helping hand that can help guide them through the whole process. And I think most people listening to your show understand and know that this isn't a one-time thing through drug rehab. It's not sometimes even 2 or 3 times. It sometimes takes longer. But we've got to make the effort, and we've got to keep the data, and we've got to make decisions based on data, and we have to spend money based on the statistics that show that we're making progress, not on some political ideology that has totally screwed this state up.
Have you seen the work done by We Heart Seattle? You know those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And
so they're part, right, Union Gospel, We Heart, all of those guys. Yep.
So there's video that I encourage people to watch. They walk around and they walk up to people and say, right now, you can come off the street. We will pay for you to go to rehab. We will help you beat this. Right now, we can take you. We'll provide all the support you need. Do you want to come off the street? Will you want to get into rehab? And it's heartbreaking the number of times the person sitting there on the sidewalk somewhere under a tent surrounded by garbage says no. And then We Heart Seattle walks on to the next person. Do you want to come off the street? We will pay for everything that you need to beat this. And sometimes, nope. But they don't give up. They're out there, and occasionally they'll get somebody. They've saved more than 275 people. Because it's one-on-one, relationship building work that is very hard for the quote-unquote government to do. Dave, I don't want you to give up. Keep fighting for this stuff and continue to have your voice heard. Although the voters of King County said no and they liked Bob Ferguson, they thought he would be the guy that would be lowering taxes and doing all the other stuff. But it looks like the small group of activists that are in control have control of Bob as well. So, Dave Reichert, thank you for all of your service. Have a fabulous weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, hey, John, thanks for having me.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave Reichert. All right, there he goes. I have a crazy solution that I think for the homeless stuff.
Go on.
Well, I don't have any time. Look, he's in there. Give me the wrap up. I'll share it at some point.
Oh, good.
I worked it out last night.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's a tease.
Thank you, gassy old lady. Here's Nate in there checking traffic for you, Nathan.
Yep, Tacoma to Olympia, 1 hour, 3 to 4 mile, thick backup through JBLM, more slowing between Lacey and Olympia. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 45-minute drive. You're crowded through Kent into Auburn, and then it gets really thick south of Highway 18. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 35 minutes. North 5 heading into Seattle is packed at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. South 5 is packed at 85th down to the Convention Center. Linwood to Seattle, a 35-minute drive. Everett to Marysville has gone up to a half hour. It is really heavy at Highway 2 all the way up to 529. And on the water, the Edmonds Ferry Terminal reporting a 1 hour wait for drivers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Longevity Medical Clinic is there, as they've been there for 25 years. I've been a patient since 2009. Let me tell you exactly how it works. I got a doctor. I went in there, and they took a look they did a blood draw, and then I went back in 2 weeks later, and they were like, wow, so you think you're in pretty good shape? I said, yeah, I think so. Look at this number and this number. This is where you should be. This is where you are. I said, I eat right, I exercise. Well, that's genetics right there. And we can do something about that. We bring these numbers down. And then I began my very long relationship with my doctor there. And about every 3 months, 4 months, I do the blood draw, look at the numbers. We are trying to stop things like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer before they develop. Proactively looking at early indicators and saying, well, this is a problem. This is a risk factor. Let's bring this number down or bring this number up. We're being proactive because all I want to do is be on this earth a little longer than I expected. And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in, extending your life with quality life. And you can find out more by taking a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic Hot Tub. Get a truly untoppable deal. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a Lux Smart Top hardcover free. OlympiChotTub.com. Better you, better life.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 for Kids.
1-877 for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? KIRO News Radio has your chance to win an unforgettable 2-night stay at the relaxing Earthbox Inn and Spa, plus a classic whale watching experience courtesy of San Juan Safaris in Friday Harbor. Head to mynorthwest.com/win for your chance to win. That's mynorthwest.com/win.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A former Alaska Airlines pilot pleads guilty in federal court nearly 2 years after he tried to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight. Joseph Emerson was off duty and riding in the cockpit at the time. He told CBS News what he was thinking at the time.
You're not going home. You need to wake up. And that's when I acted. And I pulled the handles that were in front of my face.
Also told police he was sleep deprived and thought he was dreaming. He also admitted to taking psychedelic mushrooms 2 days prior. A new executive order aims to change the name of the Defense Department, rebranding the agency as the Department of War. CBS's Linda Kenyon has that story.
I think that's a big one.
Speaking in the Oval Office, President Trump said the name Department of War is much more appropriate.
I think it sends a message of victory. I think it sends really a message of strength.
Also sending a message of strength, Trump says any threat against U.S. forces by Venezuelan aircraft.
If they do put us in a dangerous position, they'll be shut down.
After Venezuelan jets buzzed an American naval vessel in the Caribbean.
A staffing crisis at the Pierce County Sheriff's Office could get worse due to a hefty signing bonus at a neighboring police force. KIRO News Radio's Corin Hake explains that.
Pierce County Sheriff's Public Information Officer Carly Capetto confirms 2 of her department's deputies just took new law enforcement jobs and that the Tacoma Police Department is offering a $50,000 hiring bonus.
Probably one of the highest hiring bonuses any police agency in Washington state has seen.
Tacoma's offer comes at a time when her department already has almost 24 vacancies, and the deputies union is fighting for a new, better-paying contract. Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Latest report from the Labor Department shows a tough job market. It found just 22,000 jobs were added last month. Economist Diane Swank.
This is a labor market that is hard for those who have already lost a job to find a job. And people are not moving around a lot. That churn is a healthy churn is not there.
Unemployment also ticked up to 4.3%. That's the highest since 2021. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 3:33 with Nate Connors.
All right, this report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Tacoma to Olympia is going to take an hour this afternoon. Very typical backups to JBLM and again between Lacey and Olympia. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 45-minute drive. Seattle to Federal Way is a 35 minutes. Bellevue to Renton's will take you a half hour. It's slow from 520 all the way to the VMAC. South 5 is heavy from 85th down to the Convention Center. Linwood to Seattle's a 35-minute drive. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both about 45, 50 minutes. North 5 has scattered backups from Northgate all the way through Linwood. 405 scattered backups between Kirkland and Totem Lake. You'll kind of clear out through Bothell and Canyon Park and then jam up again at the Alderwood interchange. Everett to Marysville is a half hour, and it is heavy from Highway 2 into Marysville. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. The weekend is looking A little bit of a mix of some scattered showers and some clouds and some sun breaks. Highs will be in the low to mid 70s. Right now, a little bit of more of that hazy sunshine and 74 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance, when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical, there's only one place to go. It's Home Comfort Alliance.com. Let's see, lots of news. We have the day in history coming up. What was that? Oh, I thought it was sorry, it was Andrew dropping in a little flatulation in there. There it is, right there. Undercover officers wearing the team gear. Think that works?
I mean, I guess I have questions and concerns about it, though.
Okay, that's what we need. Plus, they're going to go behind enemy lines. Damon Bruce, we've spoken to him before when we did this behind enemy lines stuff.
That's what I am told.
You're very skeptical of this.
I'm not skeptical. I don't know anything about it.
The fans love it.
Yes, clearly they pleaded for it.
Yes. Plus, the valet guy at a hotel decides he can do a little, take a tour, a little Ferris Bueller kind of action there. By the way, if you ever do try it, as I learned when I was driving my mom's car, my mom would say, "I'll give you 20 miles." Like go out on a Saturday night, 20 miles. By the time I picked up Schmitty, then we drove around trying to find the party. So then I said, I know I do it. My mom's going to give me a hard time if I go over 20. So we'll just drive in reverse.
A la Ferris Bueller.
Doesn't work. The odometer's still clicking away. My friend's like, my neck's all sore. I'm like, how are we doing? How's it going? My mom's Datsun. All right, this day in history. Let's hit it area and a little this day in history. 1774, back when they used to call it the Department of War.
Ooh.
It was established, by the way, Department of War of 1789. First time they used that. And then they switched it in 1947. That's not this history, but that's a little something happening right now. 1837, Sam Houston is elected the president of Texas.
Huh. Yeah. I didn't know they had a president.
Yeah, they did. Sam was up there. 1957, New York Times gives On the Road a rave review. Truman Capote was asked about the writing, Jack Kerouac's writing. And he says, I didn't know that was writing. I thought it was typing. I love that. That's my Truman Capote imitation. Yeah. In 1972, massacre at Munich Olympics. Yeah, I remember that one. In 1975, Gerald Ford survives the first assassination attempt. Yeah, they shooting at Gerald Ford a bunch. Sheesh. And we'll go with that one. Squeaky Fromm, born to fairly well-educated individuals. And she has a nice life. In fact, she goes on to join a dance troupe and performs at the White House. What? When she was a kid for the Lawrence Welk Show. Wonderful, wonderful. Bobby and a Cindy gonna dance for you. And then in 1963, her family moves to Rodeo Beach in Los Angeles, California. And then she starts to dabble in drugs, Joe. Got into the drugs, drops out of high school, and then she starts traveling around, and she finds herself on the beach in 1967. Squeaky Fromm goes to Venice Beach, where she's suffering from depression. She runs into a guy named Charles Manson. He strikes up a conversation with him, and she was taken in by his charisma. Oof. And then she joins a bunch of friends and starts traveling around and joins the Charles Manson gang.
The
family, yes. And then on this day, September 5th, 1975, President Ford is there in Sacramento, California. Now, the Secret Service agent that was assigned to him explains what happened when the plans changed.
He walked out of the hotel that morning, saw it was a beautiful day. It was always beautiful in Sacramento. Walked out, said, I think I'll walk. Well, that was not in the plan.
Yeah, not in the plan. So at this point, they decide not to take the bulletproof car, but they're going to walk. Well, I mean, can you imagine? So there's a big crowd of people on both sides of the street. And the Secret Service does this thing where they say, put your hands out and continue to move them. So what the presidents have learned to do is, as they're walking along the crowd and people are moving their hands like this, moving them up and down, that's why the president shakes hands, because they're moving. So the Secret Service will say to the front row, pull your hands out and move them. Second row, pull your hands out and move them. They want to see your hands all the time, because with hands in the pocket, that's a problem. So the Secret Service agent is watching. He said, I'm watching to make sure that everybody's touching his hand and not trying to steal his watch. And then he's in such a position that he notices a woman in a bright red dress approach Ford.
Up came this 45 that she had strapped to her ankle. I hit it, took it out of her hands, pushed her back into the crowd, and of course, exactly what we're trained to do. They covered the president and evacuated.
Yeah, she had a 45. There were 4 rounds in the magazine. She didn't know how to chamber the round. So when she pulled the trigger, as the Secret Service agent, Larry Buber, said, it would have gone right through me and hit the president. That's how close they all were. But she pulls the trigger, and then she says, it didn't go off. The gun didn't go off. Didn't matter. They grabbed her, threw her onto the ground, and they drag her away. She talks about her relationship with Charles Manson and the Ford incident. Well, she's in prison in 1992.
He didn't ask me to call him God. We thought that was really funny. Well, you think we'd be with somebody we had to call God? I wouldn't. Blue wouldn't. It was said that we were sicko. Sick in a perverse way. Stupid. All those kind of things. And now why would people say that? I look at myself and I say, well, am I sick? Am I perverted? No, there's things I love.
And there are things she would consider killing for. She pulled a loaded .45 caliber pistol and thrust it at a stunned President Gerald Ford in September 1975.
I pointed a gun at people's leader. That's your leader.
Yeah, she said she'd kill anyone. Anyway, so she ends up in prison for quite some time, and then she's eligible for parole 3 times before the release, once in 2005, 2008, and then they do let her out. And she ends up living in, I think, upstate New York. That's where she is now. And she got out on the 15th of August back in 2009, and she lives with this guy there, her boyfriend, Robert Valder, an individual who was also released from prison. So they got that in common. Yeah. Just like you did the jail time show. Following a manslaughter of his brother-in-law back in 1988. So they...
A lot in common.
Lovely couple.
Wow.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Oh,
good God.
So she never actually killed anyone?
No.
It was just the attempted...
No.
How many other times did Ford have his...
Second time. She then in like, why are they taking shots at Ford?
Yeah, what'd he do?
It's
not a very controversial president,
No,
right?
not at all.
Wasn't he the one where everybody in Congress walked out of his speech about the Vietnam War? Was that him or was that a different president?
No, that was over by then. Nixon was out of there. Ford was famous for the whip inflation now buttons.
I never.
And also helping to get Carter elected. And I remember the best sign I saw during the Democratic convention in 1976, I guess it was. Yeah, 76 was, Ford is dull. Because Dole was his running mate.
So that was a...
the Democrats had that sign.
that was
They're all holding that up.
Ford is dull. Clever.
Yeah, like that? All right. Anyway, here we go. There's Nathan there checking traffic for us. Nathan, on a Friday.
Yeah, here we go. This report brought to us by AAA. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both pushing 50 minutes each. North 5 scattered backups from Lake City Way through Linwood. North 405 slows from Kirkland into Totem Lake. You got a nice clear patch through Bothell and Canyon Park, and then you'll jam up again in Alderwood. Everett to Seattle, 55 minutes. 40 from Linwood. It's heavy in Linwood, and then another backup from Northgate into downtown. Southbound 99, a good way to get around this I-5 backup. It's heavy, though, from the Aurora Bridge to Mercer. South 405 slows from 520 to the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton is a half-hour drive. If you're heading out toward Gig Harbor, westbound 16 is now solid from the Toll Plaza up past Olympic Drive. And a reminder, out toward Lake Forest Park, State Route 104 closed in both directions at 35th Avenue through October 25th for road work. There's about a 1-mile detour there at the scene. AAA Washington membership unlocks epic roadside rescues, hundreds of local perks and discounts, travel and insurance expertise. Join today. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Hey, football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X-Fi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Experience
the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Go Hawks! We're going behind enemy lines in just a little bit. Rye Roller said, I think I can fit you in.
I think he had to reschedule.
Well, he's got as you know, the Lake Chelan Goats are taking on, I don't know who. The kickoff has been changed to 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to hurry up and try to get on the radio with us and then go do his play-by-play in color. For the Goats.
He's a busy man.
Busy man. Ooh. Just trying to make $150. That's what they pay him to do that.
That's awesome.
So as everybody knows already, people are like, oh boy, the 49ers have bought more tickets and they're showing up. They're going to be at the game. Well, they don't want any fights, right, between the Seahawks fans and the 49ers. This is our rivalry, our big rivalry. So
ahead of yet another busy Seahawks season, Lumen Field has announced that their law enforcement officers will be hiding in plain sight, wearing the visiting team's jerseys while spread amongst the crowd, looking for instigators, disruptors, and those breaking stadium rules. It comes before the Seahawks opener, where Vivid Seats, an online ticket seller, says that 53% of seats are projected to be filled by red and gold 49ers fans, meaning some of them, unknowingly, will be law enforcement. Longtime law enforcement experts say blending in is a common practice for larger events like an NFL game.
It just keeps they get a feel for the tempo and what the crowd is like, and then they can.
Is he going to the bathroom while they're talking to him? What the heck is that? Is it just me?
Filling up his water bottle?
They get a feel for the tempo and what the crowd is like, and then they can report back to the uniforms if they need them to come help them with anything.
Others say that seeing people in uniform would be more reassuring to those in a packed stadium crowd.
Definitely makes the space feel more safer, just because it gets pretty rowdy here. It's with this high volume of traffic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've seen people get mad at one another. It was really weird. People were fighting at the preseason. Who fights at preseason?
Yeah, that's a good question. But wouldn't you be less likely to fight if there was a cop in uniform standing next to you?
I think yes, but they're trying to catch the guys. But they're just trying to scare them. Hey, that's why they're doing this press story.
Yeah.
Hey, we're out there. Don't try anything. So you don't know. You don't know. Yeah, like an undercover cop.
There. Could be a ruse.
Yeah, the old just park the empty police car on the side of the road. That kind of move right there. Yeah.
That would make more sense.
But if you're drunk and you're really into it, it's normally happening in the stands, right? Somebody starts to, and the guy, so what, the cop's going to be sitting in the stands?
He was looking for fights.
No, because where they're going to go? Up top? Because when last game we went to, Ryan and I, the people weren't even standing. Those tickets were so expensive. It's not the regular fans, the hard-scrabbled fans. They're not there in that, middle area there, the club seats.
Oh, you were very disappointed.
Yeah, we're like, Ryan's like, come on, everybody. Get up. We're on defense. Get up. Start screaming. You should not have vocal cords at the end. By the last play, or close to it, you should be coughing up blood. If you've really got your money's worth.
As you're demonstrating right now.
I know, it's a nut left over from my payday bar.
Oh, no. This is not a Triscuit.
All sorts of problems today. All right, let's get Nate in here. Hang on a second. Let me get him in here with a little song from Music Man. No, Guys and Dolls.
It's good old reliable
There it is. We're trying.
No real surprises this afternoon. We're seeing very typical backups. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett, both 50 minutes. Everett to Marysville, 25 minutes. This is heavy from Highway 2 up to 529. Everett to Seattle, 55 minutes, 40 from Linwood. It's pretty slow in Linwood, and then that typical backup from Northgate in the downtown. North 5 is crowded from Albro in the downtown. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, you're still looking good, about 20 minutes on both I-90 and 520. Both routes will start getting heavy about mid-span. South 405 slows from 520 to the VMAC, Bellevue to Renton a half hour, and Tacoma to Olympia, one of our lengthier drives this afternoon at an hour and 5 minutes. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Out at the Wilcox family farm, our hens roam freely on fresh green pasture. But that means predators like coyotes and eagles are always nearby. That's where our team of Great Pyrenees help out. These gentle giants were born to protect, and they become a part of our family. Raised alongside the chickens from puppyhood. Our hens are raised humanely, our practices are organic, and our promise is simple. Fresh eggs straight from our farm to your table. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. Northwest News.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
Defense Department name change.
Peace through strength, brought to you by the War Department.
Georgia Hyundai EV plant raid.
We had a lot of illegal aliens working there.
Labor market cooling.
This is a labor market that is hard for those who have already lost a job to find a job.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump signs an executive order aimed at rebranding the Department of Defense as the Department of War. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
I think that's a big one.
Speaking in the Oval Office, President Trump said the name Department of War is much more appropriate.
I think it sends a message of victory. I think it sends really a message of strength.
Also sending a message of strength, Trump says any threat against U.S. forces by Venezuelan aircraft.
If they do put us in a dangerous position, they'll be shut down.
After Venezuelan jets buzzed an American naval vessel in the Caribbean.
Federal agents have arrested 475 undocumented immigrants at a Hyundai facility in southern Georgia. The immigrants were helping to build a new electric vehicle battery plant at Hyundai's huge complex near Savannah. Steve Schrank, special agent in charge for the Department of Homeland Security in Georgia, says some of the workers' visas had expired and others had crossed the border illegally.
This, in fact, was the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
Many of those arrested were Korean nationals. With an influx of federal authorities expected in Chicago at an elementary school this morning, Mayor Brandon Johnson joined the teachers union as they handed out flyers advising parents of their rights in encounters with ICE or law enforcement. Mayor Johnson saying,
"What this president is doing is illegal and unconstitutional. Quite frankly, is reprehensible. But as the city of Chicago, we're going to stand firm on our values. We're not going to turn back the hands of time to a place in which federal troops and or National Guard prevents children from being educated."
Employers added just 22,000 jobs in August, with hiring decelerating from 79,000 in July. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
What it confirms is the labor market is slowing down. And now we have 4 straight months of reports and revisions that show we are adding, on average, the past 4 months, under 30,000 jobs each month. And you compare that to the first 4 months of the year, where we added over 120,000 jobs on average each month.
Unemployment is up to 4.3%, the highest level since 2021. Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. will reportedly link autism to Tylenol use in pregnancy and folate deficiencies. People familiar with the matter tell the Wall Street Journal that the report is expected to be released this month. Stocks fall on Wall Street. Now this.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Coming up, why police were called out to a football practice in Arlington. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, this report brought to us by Seattle Sports. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are both at 50 minutes. North 405 through Kirkland at Northeast 85th. Look out for a stalled vehicle partially blocking that off-ramp. Everett to Marysville, 25 minutes. It gets heavy just north of Highway 2 into Marysville. Everett to Seattle, about 50 minutes now. It's still 40 from Linwood. We're still slow in Linwood. And then jam-packed from Northgate into downtown. North 5 is crowded from the Michigan Curve into downtown. Southbound 405 is slow from 520 to the VMAC. Gets pretty thick there about mid-Bellevue through Factoria. Bellevue to Renton's going to take you right around a half hour. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is a 45-minute trip. And South 5 and Federal Way slows as you approach Highway 18 through Fife. Federal Way to Tacoma is around 20 minutes. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Kids in Arlington had to rush to safety after a man pulled out a weapon near an elementary school last night. KIRO News Radio's Gwen Baumgartner has the story.
Youth football and cheerleading practices outside Arlington's Eagle Creek Elementary were brought to a halt Thursday evening. Police say a man was driving recklessly on the grass nearby before he got into a confrontation with parents and pulled out a knife. Commander Peter Barrett.
I think there was concerns that he might become not just disruptive, but actually violent towards folks.
A cheerleading coach telling KIRO Radio she worked to quickly move 60 kids to safety inside a nearby building until the man was arrested by police. That 31-year-old from Marysville expected to face charges of DUI, reckless endangerment, and brandishing a weapon. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
Now to Kirkland, where a woman is dead after being stabbed inside her apartment last night. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay has that story.
Around 11 p.m., a woman called 911 to report that she and her mother had been stabbed at the Kirkland Heights apartments along Northeast 132nd Street. Police say the women knew their attacker.
And there does appear to be some type of a romantic component between the daughter and the suspect.
Eventually, Snohomish County Sheriff's deputies found him and took him into custody. The woman who called 911 had surgery, and her condition has been stabilized, but her mother died. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The man who they call the South Hill rapist could soon be released from state custody. 78-year-old Kevin Coe was linked to at least 43 rapes in Spokane in the early 80s, though only one conviction still stands. Senator Mark Schessler says he is outraged the state no longer considers Coe a sexually violent predator.
One of the most heinous rapists in state history. If you understand that and you have any empathy for the victims, you would come to the same conclusion I did. He should never be out of McNeil Island.
That sound courtesy of the Senate Republicans. The Department of Social and Health Services will consider Coe's unconditional release on October 2nd. Some 50,000 people are expected to flood Seattle's waterfront park tomorrow for a grand opening celebration. The all-day event runs from 11 to 9. It features live music and local eats. It marks the finale of a decades-long $800 million transformation. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Tonight, seeing some more haze from wildfire smoke. This weekend, some isolated showers and cooler weather should improve the air quality a bit. Right now, 75 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
You just wait. We're going to be stars. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to start till the lowest bum on the bower is singing our tunes with the glitz is glamour up on Park City. Wow. Wait, what? Huh? Whatever. What?
Dames at Sea.
That's right. That's some Dames at Sea. Here we go. Ready? By the way, playing the Know-It-All quiz, Joe wants me to say, hey, do you want to play the Know-It-All quiz? If you do, 1-888-973-5476. Everybody's welcome. All you got to do is send Joe one interesting thing about yourself. It is amazing, the stories that you have to tell. So one interesting thing about yourself, have yourself on the radio at 5:30, playing the Know-It-All quiz. A lot of people here at KIRO Radio got their start right there playing the Know-It-All quiz. 1-888-973-5476. It's fun. It's good for you and the whole family diving into the news. I wish I had Cliff Mass's phone on speed dial. Cliff Mass, can I have your phone number? Because I got to tell you, I read so many stories about climate change and the heat and then the summer. And then, of course, I read the Seattle Times because I know that's where all the facts are. And then I'm like, I read this one. I saw this, I think, 2 days ago about this guy who decided he was going to do a study on sea level rising. And it comes out, the National Review has it, the New York Post picks it up, others pick it up as well. And he basically looked at the predictions of where they thought they were going to be with sea level. And then he looked at the actual sea level changes, and he comes out and sort of throws a wet blanket. I guess he wet the blanket with whatever water was out there and sort of threw it on top of these studies. And I thought, I got to call Cliff Mass right away. So I had to wait a whole day. Did you get a chance to look at the study?
I did, and it turns out it was published. I mean, this is in a peer-reviewed journal.
Yeah.
So this has gone through peer review. So this is just not some person saying something. It actually has gone through the whole cycle of review and evaluation. And it's true, too, by the way.
Why? How was his because he's not part of the normal climate scientist group. How did he go about doing this study, and what makes it different, and why does it make it news?
Well, it turns out that this information is not secretive. I mean, I've blogged about the same thing myself. If you actually look at the data, the sea level rise data, you're stunned to see that there's no acceleration upward. That the sea level has been rising steadily and slowly for over a century. Mm-hmm. And so, this question about global warming, whether it's causing the sea level to rise more rapidly, well, we kind of know the answer. It's not. And from most locations, and that's what this paper says, for most locations, there's no acceleration of the sea level rise due to mankind's activities.
And if this story gets picked up anywhere, I don't know if it does, what does that do to the scientists that were making these predictions, and what does that do for the world and how they address the scare of sea level rising?
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be scary. Basically, sea level is rising slowly. And, that makes sense because the planet is warming slowly. The planet's been warming since the end of the Little Ice Age, which was the late 1800s. So the planet's warming. That causes the water to expand, a little bit of ice melt. And so the water level is slowly and steadily coming up. But what it's not doing is accelerating up more rapidly recently due to global warming. I mean, there's certainly a narrative out that mankind is having tremendous impact on global warming during the last few decades, and that's causing all these terrible things to become to be more evident. Well, it turns out this is one terrible thing that is not accelerating at all. So if you look at the sea level rise here in Northwest, a lot of places it's just going up slowly. In fact, some places sea levels are actually going down. That's not advertised greatly, but some places on the Olympic Peninsula in Northwest Washington, sea level is actually going down, and that's because we used to have an ice age, and the ice and snow weighted down the land. And when the ice and snow melted, the land didn't have all this weight, and it started to rise. So if you're on the northwest coast of Washington State, by Quileute or someplace like that, the sea level is actually going down. So it's not so scary when you actually look at the numbers, and that's basically what that paper is saying.
Can I just run some other things by you that I see that come up as I'm sitting there on Instagram or reading? Because I get into these rabbit holes. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
The Earth it was either 2,500 years or 25,000 years. I can't remember. That the Earth's rotation changes. It starts to wobble a little bit. It goes out of its normal circular pattern around the sun, and it just shifts just ever so slightly. So it's getting a little less sun or a little more sun every cycle. The scientists have looked at that. It changes its normal spinning pattern. Is that true?
Well, you're not saying it quite right, but you're close enough.
Okay. All right. Help me, Cliff.
Basically, the Earth orbits around the sun. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't. But the shape of that orbit, and when the Earth is closest to the sun, varies over tens of thousands of years. And so there's various orbital parameters that change, and this has been going on for forever. Okay. So what happens is, we have this periodicity to the climate. We go in and out of ice ages. We've done that many times in the last several million years. And that's perfectly natural. And, we were in an ice age not that long ago, back about 15, 18,000 years ago, we were in an ice age. But we're not but we came out of that, and now we're in the warmer period. And if mankind didn't do anything, we would go back into an ice age in about 3,000 to 5,000 years. So there's this cycle that's perfectly natural, and I think that's what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. Here's another one: that the core of the Earth, where the center of all the heat comes from, creates shifting in the Earth's surface that below the oceans. You have shifts there that then release the heat from the center of the Earth, which then heats the oceans, which then creates more CO2.
That I have not heard of.
Ooh.
And I don't know where you got that one from, but that one's new on me.
That was new on you. Okay. So overall, I would love to be in your passenger seat, Cliff Mass, the professor there of oceanic science at University of Washington. When we atmospheric, when we pull up to a gas station and we put the gas in there and we're paying all this money for our Climate Commitment Act, I turn to you, Cliff, and I go, wow, Cliff, how do you feel about all the money that we're putting aside in order to fight climate change? And in that deep baritone voice of yours, you'd say,
it's not a good investment. And, our Climate Commitment Act, the impact of what we're doing here in Washington State is infinitesimal. And it doesn't make any sense at all. And that's the truth. The impact of just the United States now is only like 15% of the total problem. And Washington State is, way, 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 way less than, like a tenth of a percent or less. So we're not the problem. And the Climate Commitment Act will have no benefit for mankind.
But if somebody were here that would be supporting this, they said, well, we all have to do our part. If we don't do anything, then no one else does anything, then nothing happens. But if we're all in it doing our part, we'll help save this planet, this only planet that we have, Cliff, from existential disaster.
There's a lot of weaknesses to that argument. First, global warming, even continuing what's happening right now, is not an existential threat. It's not even close to an existential threat. So that whole argument is false. Mankind can easily handle the moderate warming that's going on. In fact, during the period that we're warming, people have become much safer. There's much less loss due to extreme weather and things like that because our forecasts are much better. We can protect ourselves much better. We have air conditioning. So the threat, there's very little threat to mankind, and it's certainly not an existential threat of global warming. Secondly, the way to get out of this business is technological in the end. In the end, we can use nuclear power and we can use fusion power, which will be eventually available. Once we have that, the game is over. We will have unlimited energy that will put no CO2 in the atmosphere. In fact, it's even better than that. Once we have large amounts of nuclear or fusion power, we can actually pull CO2 out of the atmosphere if we chose to do that. So this is not a threat of any significant nature. And in any case, the way to fix this problem is not putting a few more windmills up or something, which don't really help that much. In the end, the way out of this is to have the technology to produce energy that doesn't pollute the atmosphere, and that's going to come. In fact, we have nuclear right now. We're not even using it.
Well, why is that?
Well, I think the environmental activists, for some reason, have decided that nuclear is no good. It's not a rational decision. Some nations are using nuclear almost 100% for power, like France. The threat of nuclear is far less than the threat of the other fuels we're using, like coal and fossil fuels. So it's silly. We should be using nuclear, and we're not.
if what it looks like it's coming, which would be the largest deregulation of any action ever done by the federal government, which would be the EPA agreeing to the fact that climate change is not an existential threat to the health of America. And if this goes forward and it goes back to the Supreme Court, as it went, I think, in 86 or 87 when they voted 5-4, that, yeah, you can regulate CO2. So therefore, no more leaf blowers and lawn mowers and things like that. If this thing happens and they flip it, this will be a huge domino effect that will ripple through every part of the economy. And then do you think then it opens up rational discussions about science and the demand, the tremendous demand that will be put on the world when it comes to providing the energy that we need for AI?
Right. I mean, we need a more rational approach to energy. And again, nuclear, definitely very, very useful. Fusion power, it will come. That is very useful. Adaptation, if we do have modest changes in climate, we can adapt to that. Look how many people live in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is an extraordinarily hot place. You don't hear a lot of deaths going on there due to heat. There's a reason they have air conditioning. So we have the technology to deal with this problem. If a modest amount of warming, we can deal with it. And that's all we're talking about, even under the worst scenarios.
Joe just found this from 2017.
Miami, in terms of assets at risk, is the #1 city at risk in the entire world for sea level rise. This is a major crisis. Projected sea level rise in South Florida, possibly 7 feet or more in this century.
Al made a lot of money off of that.
Right. Well, first, his sea level rise estimates are wrong. It's just they're way too excessive. But that's one thing to keep in mind. Secondly, we can deal with slowly rising water. We can, look at the Dutch. Large areas of their nation are below sea level.
Yeah,
and they're able to deal with it. So the places that we have that are vulnerable, we can protect them. But in any case, it's going to happen very slowly, and we have plenty of time to adapt to these changes.
Well, not before Neil deGrasse Tyson says a giant meteor is headed our way.
Right. Well, that's another that we can deal with, because right now we can tell what's out there, we can see what's coming in, and we actually now have the technology to intercede and push those meteors out of the way, or that asteroid out of the way, to save mankind. So that's another big threat that we amazingly have the technology to deal with.
Well, so back to you and I filling up the car with gas. What is your favorite go-to convenience store snack, Cliff Mass?
Well, I don't go to convenience stores that much, I'm afraid to say. So, so I when I have snacks, I'd rather have something else, like a donut or something.
Well, they got donuts. They got donuts.
I know, but I can get better donuts other places. So.
I love donuts so much.
All right, Sherry, it's not about you. Well, that'll save us some money. Well, listen, so that's good. So we should not be panicking. We should have a good weekend. And I don't know if you follow the Seahawks. Can you give me what you think the score is going to be? Can you make a prediction on that, Mr. Scientist?
No, I don't want to predict that. But one thing I will predict is the smoke is going to get much better here in the Seattle area.
Okay.
It's actually quite smoky out there right now. It's the levels are pretty high, but the winds are going to shift. And so our air should get much, much better over the weekend. So that's a prediction I'm willing to make.
Okay, we'll take that. All right, Cliff Mass, always appreciate your common sense perspectives there. Professor of Atmospheric Science at University. Got it. No, Joe cut out part of your bio there. All right, thanks, Cliff. Have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot.
All right, bye-bye. There he goes. All right, everybody feel better? Huh?
I do.
I could cause panic much better than even you.
I'm sure you could.
It's good old reliable Nathan.
Nathan. Let's see. Everett to Marysville pushing a half hour. It's packed from the Snohomish River up to 529, and now northbound 529 is packed between Everett and Marysville, crossing the Snohomish River. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. They're solid from Kirkland, or rather through Kirkland and Totem Lake, and then you'll clear out until you hit the Alderwood interchange. Seattle to Everett has improved to 45 minutes, but this is about to change. We've got a new collision at Northgate Way, North 5. It's in the left general purpose lane, and this has got you in a bumper-to-bumper backup starting near Lake City Way. In Kirkland, North 405 and Northeast 85th, we've got a stalled vehicle partially blocking that off-ramp. Looks like they're working to clear this, though. Linwood to Seattle, a 50-minute drive. We've pretty much cleared out in Linwood, so we're just dealing with this jam-packed backup from Northgate into downtown. Tacoma to Olympia has improved a bit. We're down to 55 minutes, but it's crowded through the length of South Tacoma, starting at State Route 16. Another backup through JBLM, and another backup between Lacey and Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO News Radio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Cap off your summer with an incredible night at the ballpark.
There it goes! Randy's done it! He has tied it up to the second deck!
The final Mariners fireworks show of the season is coming up Friday, September 12th, presented by T-Mobile. Cal Raleigh and the crew are taking on the Angels in a divisional showdown at 7:10. And after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with a dazzling post-game display. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's two spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Way back into the upper
deck. What a year for the Big Dumper. Go to Mariners.com to lock in your seats and check out everything on deck, including Fan Appreciation Night presented by Starbucks Saturday, September 13th, and a Super Mario Mariners cap giveaway thanks to Nintendo Sunday, September 14th. Plus, don't miss the final homestand of the regular season featuring a matchup against Shohei Ohtani and the defending World Series champion Dodgers, September 26th through 28th. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. Washington State's now pushing back against those new federal restrictions on COVID shots. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch has the updates.
Washington State made good on its promise to offer its own vaccine guidelines using the advice of leading medical associations. The FDA is only recommending COVID-19 shots to seniors and those with underlying health problems. The Washington State Health Department has issued a standing order to make the shots available without a prescription to most residents 6 months and older.
A former Alaska Airlines pilot who tried to shut down a plane mid-flight 2 years ago has pleaded guilty. In a recent interview with CBS, Joseph Emerson explains he did it because he thought he was dreaming.
In the dream, in this dissociative state, I thought they were going to wake me up. It didn't wake me up, right? I was in reality. I know that now.
Emerson was off duty in the cockpit at the time. He told police he hadn't slept in days and also took psychedelic mushrooms a couple of days prior. 2 men suspected of burglarizing the homes of local celebrities, including Macklemore and Ichiro, have now been charged with multiple felonies. KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake has more.
Mariners pitcher Luis Castillo was also victimized. King County prosecutor spokesman Casey McNerthney says, when a celebrity's home gets hit, it ought to trouble the rest of us.
Pro athletes who have, in many cases, their own security and great cameras, if their homes can be broken into, it leaves the rest of us pretty vulnerable.
Patrick Masonette was charged Thursday with 10 felonies. A suspected co-conspirator, Earl Riley, was charged in June. Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
The already understaffed Pierce County Sheriff's Office is losing deputies to the Tacoma Police Department. Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto says that's because Tacoma PD is offering a $50,000 signing bonus.
We can't offer them an incentive package better than what the Tacoma Police Department can offer.
She confirms 2 deputies have already accepted a Tacoma PD's offer in the past 2 weeks, and more could follow. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:32. Here's Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. DR Horton has our update. Let's start you with Sound Transit's one line. It is closed at their Beacon Hill station due to a power outage. No estimation when this will be fixed. In the meantime, shuttle buses are taking passengers between Soto and Mount Baker Station. So if you're taking that one line this afternoon, plan on a little extra time. Everett to Marysville is going to take you a half hour. It is bumper to bumper from the Snohomish River to 529, and now northbound 529 is packed between Everett and Marysville crossing the Snohomish River. Bellevue to Everett, 50 minutes. It's solid between Kirkland and Totem Lake. And then you're going to clear out through Bothell and Canyon Park before entering that North 5 back up there up in Alderwood. Seattle to Everett, 45 minutes. We already cleared that crash in Northgate. It's onto your right shoulder. In Kirkland, North 405 and Northeast 85th, we still have a stalled vehicle partially blocking that off-ramp. Linwood to Seattle, 50 minutes. It's jam-packed from Northgate all the way through downtown. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 45 minutes, and Tacoma to Olympia is going to take you 55 minutes. With over 20 Puget Sound communities, DR Horton has the right home for you. Learn more at drhorton.com. DR Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Smoky again today. For the weekend, we'll cool down and see some scattered showers. Should improve the air quality with highs in the low to mid 70s Saturday and Sunday. Right now, 75 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Back to school means 10,000 buses, over 1 million students, and 60,000 teachers all hitting our roads. Even if you don't have kids, your morning routine just got a wake-up call. With KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes, you'll be totally prepared and know what to expect before it hits. From breaking news to changing skies and slowdowns you wouldn't see coming, KIRO News in the Morning has your back. To school. Watch weekdays, 4:30 to 7 a.m., only on KIRO 7 TV.
Gets me every time we need a back-to-school thing. Woo. Buggy's Auto Service Center, 16 locations, been around for 55 years. And back, popular demand, although Joe put it into the AI music-generating machine behind enemy lines. We sold on this one?
For today.
We drop in under the cover of night. We come to fight. We spy. We creep. We crawl over your wall. We are behind enemy lines.
Yeah. All right, Bruce. Damon, Bruce, you've done this before, and I saw the little post you put up there a while ago. Radio is dead. Thanks a lot, Damon. Really appreciate that. Radio is dead. And that's why you can be found over there, the Damon Bruce Show on Instagram. You can also the podcast. I watched an hour of it, so let's get all the plugs out of the way. Ike's Sandwiches, go over there, and then there's Dubliners over on the 14th of October. Head over there as well. Have I handled all your sponsors?
Everything sounds pretty good to me. You know, I was really hoping over the last couple of years with radio killing my career, you guys might have lost my phone number too, but nope, you still held on to it, which means maybe there is hope for this medium after all. It is good to be on with you again, fellas.
Because it doesn't matter how people get the news, whether it's radio or podcast, people like you that have this undying love for the really crappy city of San Francisco and Oakland and everything, there'll always be a place for you. Always for you, Damon. Always. Okay?
Well, there's always going to be room in the world for a person like you who thinks that sitting in Seattle is impressive in any sort of way, shape, or form to a person in San Francisco.
My son is on the phone. Hold on. My son, Roller Curley, is on the phone, and I had to bring him in because he's like a savant when it comes to football. So are you ready to be taken to task as we go behind enemy lines? I ask you.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. All right, so right now, I'll start with my son, Damon. Rye, what are the weaknesses that you think the Seahawks can take advantage of when it comes to the 49ers as they come to town this weekend?
Well, I would say there's three things. Number one, the Niners were horrible at defending the run last year. They addressed that throughout the draft this offseason, but still, that's one of those things that is so hard to get right. We've seen the Seahawks try to do that for the past half decade, try to develop a rushing defense. So have the Niners fix that. The other thing, Christian McCaffrey did not practice today. I know it's unique when it's the first week of the season. No one's really into their groove. Maybe you're just resting him for Friday. I don't know how Shanahan thinks. I don't even attempt to do that. But will he play Sunday? That is obviously, the biggest impact player of the game. And then different receivers now. They don't have all their Avengers like they used to, where it was just this endless depth at wide receiver, running back, and tight end for the Niners. It's sort of a who's who. It becomes, you got Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, may or may not play. I believe our guy from San Francisco can help with that. And then also Brandon Ayuk is out. So there's question marks up and down the Niners roster, but, that's reflected in their record last year. So it should be an exciting game. It should be close, but that's what I'm seeing. So.
All right. Damon Bruce, you just heard it from a 22-year-old kid who thinks his father's a big deal here in Seattle. What do you think? Do you guys have the ability to stop the run?
I'll tell you, he's kind of on the money with all the concerns. He really is. I think that the 49ers invested heavily in this offseason in trying to stop the run and didn't get great results in the preseason. We haven't seen all the guys on the field yet. And I'll just tell you, the biggest difference between last year's Niners and this year's Niners, in spite of the turnover in players, it's Robert Saleh being back in the building. The former defensive coordinator left to go be a New York Jet. It didn't work out. It never works out for anybody with a New York Jet, so we're not going to hold that against Bob. And he's really a defensive mastermind, and him being back in the building will hopefully be what bridges any, let's just call it, being new at this that the 49er rookie class might have. It's going to take a while to get their sea legs underneath them. Christian McCaffrey did not practice today. I believe that is just under an abundance of caution more than there is a real injury there. I'm expecting him to go this weekend. I think he does. But obviously, the season's dreams and hopes lie in the calves and Achilles of Christian McCaffrey. He's a very important player. And when healthy, he's devastating to this league. When not healthy, they haven't been very good around him. And that brings us to Juwan Jennings, who is going to be playing. I don't know if his calf injury was that real or not. Brandon Ayuk gets the opportunity to show up and save the day in the middle of the year if he walks back in healthy. Ricky Pearsall, you were the number 1 pick last year, and you caught a bullet in San Francisco before you caught a pass. Luckily, he was okay. But now, we're going to see whether or not he can really get the job done, and we don't have to talk about Brock Purdy's money anymore because he actually got it. So here it is. It's year 9 of Kyle Shanahan. He's had a lot of success in Seattle, against Seattle. You guys bet the farm on Sam Darnold. Good luck with that. Seriously. I don't know. So, I think that the 49ers could be in for a rough start with a whole bunch of new guys involved. But I heard that there are more Niners fans getting into this game than ever before. Lumen Field isn't quite what it used to be. Seahawks fans are a little lost in the woods, having their own identity crisis right now. I think the 49ers start 1-0 no matter who shows up to play on Sunday.
Wow. Right, Roller, as a Seahawks fan since you were 4 years old, are you going to take that kind of thing from an old washed-up radio guy now doing podcasts and promoting Ike sandwiches?
Look, this whole, everybody just sort of scoffs off Sam Darnold like he didn't have a really, really great year last year. And if we could just sort of, imagine we've replaced Geno with Sam Darnold. Okay, say that's a wash. At worst, you have to look at the rest of our team. We got so much better defensively. We took a big gamble last year with Ryan Grubb, and it did not pay off. His sort of air raidy style, his aggressive spread him out offense did not work in the NFL. So we went back to, in fact, we sort of are hitting close to home here. It all comes around in circles because we get Clint Kubiak, who, of course, his ties with the Shanahan family are very well documented. So we're going to try to run our own version of a Shanahan offense throughout the year. So I think the Seahawks do win this game. I think we've gotten better up and down, not the flashy stuff, right? I know Darnold is not jumping off the page at anybody. Was last year just a big fluke? Who knows? But I think our team is very strong this year. I have us at 10 or 11 wins, but also you have to realize the Niners have the easiest schedule in the NFL. You name a bad team, the Niners will play them this year. So it's and as for the Lumen Field thing, our fans, they don't care anymore. As soon as Russell left, they acted like they cared for a season. It's going to be probably 60-40 Niners fans. It disgusts me. And now it turns out the cops are showing up, and they're dressing like Niner fans, too.
All right, hold on. All right, David Bruce, this is what I live with. All right, you ready? You've done this before. Here it goes. You have an opportunity. Damon Bruce from the Damon Bruce Show. You follow on Instagram as well. Seahawks are coming off the bus. You're going to be standing there with a frying pan, most likely given to you by Dubliners. You'll be there on October 4th for some reason. You get that frying pan. You're allowed to hit one Seahawk over the head with the frying pan. You put him on the back of the horse, and off you go. You gallop through the stadium, and you rip off the jersey from the Seahawk. And then you dress him in a 49ers uniform that you borrowed from a police officer here in Seattle. Who do you kidnap from the field?
I'm taking Steve Largent. After all this time, as thin as the 49ers are at wide receiver, give me Grandpa Senator Largent, Congressman Largent, whatever he is at this point in time in his life and his career, if he is indeed still with us. Listen to an old, broken radio soul who is dead inside here in San Francisco. The 49ers are winning this game, Steve Largent or not.
Wow. All right, finally, I'll put up the $100. We'll never have to actually pay each other.
I'll take Ronnie Lott. If we're going to play that game.
All right, down.
Pinky.
Get down, you two. Hang back. All right. Final score. Damon Bruce.
49ers 24, Seattle 17.
Wow. Rye?
23-17 in honor of the 2013 NFC Championship game.
There we go. Damon Bruce. Damon Bruce Plus. Follow him on YouTube. By the way, if you've enjoyed the conversation, as he says at the beginning, talk comes to an end. It's time for action. I so much appreciate what you bring to the spirit of the 49ers, and I look forward to your devastating loss on Sunday. Thanks for spending some time with my kid, Rye Roller.
Well, it was my absolute pleasure, as nepotism hopefully steers your son away from following you into this godforsaken industry that we've all chosen. Make better choices.
There he goes. All right, thanks, Rye Roller. I know you got a big game. We've got the Lake Chelan Goats kicking off in a half an hour. Who are they playing?
They're taking on College Place Seahawks or whatever. I have to go.
All right, go. Bye. Wow. There we go. Whew. Wow, I didn't have to say anything. I like that.
I'm sold. That's fun.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rye's knowledge is so deep, isn't it?
Bruce is great, too. I think we get to do it again with him.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Bang! It's good old reliable Nathan Travis.
Speaking of the Seahawks, this report brought to you by your Seattle Seahawks. Sound Transit's One Line has resumed normal service after restoring power at that Beacon Hill station. Luckily, that power outage is only about 20 minutes or so. Bellevue to Everett is down to 45 minutes. We're still at 45 minutes. Seattle to Everett. Linwood to Seattle is down to 45 minutes as well. 35 if you can hop into the HOV lane. It is jam-packed from Northgate into downtown. Our lake bridges continue to look good. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. It's heavy from Southeast 8th to the VMAC. And a heads up, the downtown Seattle tunnel closes on State Route 99, both directions overnight for routine maintenance tonight at 10 p.m. through 6 a.m. Saturday. 12s, tickets for the Seahawks 50th season are on sale now. Let's pack Lumen Field, bring the noise, and make history together this season. Secure your seats today at Seahawks.com/tickets. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Okay, you're getting up there in age, and you've got yourself a little nest egg there because you're putting money away for the golden years, and you want as many golden years as possible, don't you? Because let's face it, you don't want to just retire and then pass away, or the reverse. So you look at Longevity Medical Clinic and you think, okay, do I want to make an investment with Longevity Medical Clinic and myself? Here's what it runs down to. About 6 hours a year. That's about it. A blood draw takes 15. You get on the phone with your doctor for 40 minutes or an hour, about 4 or 5 times a year. And that doctor is looking for early indicators of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And then they are proactively stopping them, slowing them down to give you more years. You give them 6 hours, they give you more years. That is a really good return on investment. If you want to find out more, I have been a patient since 2009. I love it. You can take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with a Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Thinking of a Kia EV? Act fast. Thousands in tax credits end September 30th. Visit KiaofEverett.com for our huge selection. Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
All right, don't forget, someone's going to get on the radio and play the know-it-all quiz. Teeny Tiny's got a whole box of Bite Me cookies for you. And
Oh, the cookies!
thank you, Teeny. And you, all you got to do is just text Joe one interesting thing about yourself. 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. I always write down what the scores are going to be for the game, and I always lose them. 24-17 says and then Rye goes 23-17. All right. There we go. Got it. Joe,
Boom.
it's on that piece of paper right there.
Oh, good.
There it is. And all you YouTubers out there, something for you.
Is that the piece of paper you just threw?
Oh, shoot. Well, at least you know where it is. All right. So this guy, a valet guy in Miami, decides, well, you know what? There's a nice car.
Brazen and bold. Police say a valet attendant taking a car for a spin, and it was caught on camera by the car's
We used to do this.
Did you?
Yeah.
owner.
I haven't seen it come back yet. It's been like, that's my car. That's my car. He just crashed my car.
We never did that.
Get the out of my car now.
Video released by the state attorney's office shows what police say was a valet attendant behind the wheel of a black Audi. The owner, irate, tells him to get out of the car.
I'm calling the cops. Give me the keys. Give me the keys. You're done. You're getting...
How old is that guy? Like 12?
The car owner
The car
or the
owner.
valet? It didn't say.
He sounds like a young man.
I'm calling the cops. Give me the keys. Give me the keys. You're done. You're getting fired. You
Fired?
just saw that, right? Yep. Give me my keys. No. Don't talk to me. I'm done.
It happened back in June. Police say the victim dropped his car off and keys at his building valet off Southwest 7th Street in Brickell. Detectives say 23-year-old Augusto Cesar Sandino Troz didn't park the car, instead sped out onto the road. The victim, on his way home, saw his car speed out.
It's been like, that's my car. That's my car. He just crashed my car.
He told police Troz almost hit a building with his car.
Oof.
Troz was arrested and charged.
Yeah. It's not a good thing to see your car be driven away. I've got this old classic Porsche, and these people that went to the barn for a wedding, they said, can we just drive it down the road? It's like, put cans on the back of it. Sure, I don't care.
Move on.
Oh, yeah, okay, then, shut up then. Then you for the last 1 minute. So I said, sure, I don't care. And then they drove it down the end of the driveway. That was fine with me. Nick's like, well, you really? You let them have it. It's fun. Classic Porsche. And then I forgot to get the keys back. About 3 hours later, Nick and I are sitting there in the tiny house. And it's like 9 o'clock at night. And you see it go racing by. The bride and groom weren't in it. Just somebody else was in it.
Oh, no.
And Nick goes, there goes your car. I was like, yeah, they're having a good time. They're fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, yeah.
I look at it like, look, I'm not driving. It's sitting there. It's, take it out.
That's why you don't have it in the living room anymore, right?
She took it out of the living room.
Okay.
Yeah, so now then she covers it with a tarp. I'm like, really? Like a tarp? Tarp? And then our mouse got in there and built like a little mouse house inside. I'm like, Nick, it's better off in the house. Well, somebody will steal it. But you want a mouse living in it? Or you want someone driving it occasionally without our permission?
They ever drive the truck?
They never take the truck.
Huh.
Yeah, 66 Ford, take that thing out.
Beautiful.
That's the life right there. All righty.
Sounds pretty rough.
I work really hard for all that crap.
Well, you do. Hats off.
No, okay. I haven't introduced you yet. Hang on. There he is one more time. Reliable Nathan.
Everett to Marysville, we're improving. We're down to 20 minutes. Still heavy, though, between the Snohomish River and 529. Northbound 529 has already cleared out between Everett and Marysville. Bellevue to Everett and Seattle to Everett still hanging on in 45-minute commutes. Linwood to Seattle also 45 minutes, but it is really thick from Northgate into downtown. Southbound 99 is a good alternate route. It is heavy, though, from the zoo down to Mercer. Bellevue to Renton, we're down to 25 minutes here. Still slow from Southeast 8th and Bellevue to the VMAC. Seattle to Federal Ways at a half hour, and Tacoma to Olympia, we're down to a 50-minute drive. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Sneaking in, rats are moving in, moon is creeping in, water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
When the weather changes, your home shouldn't be the one left unprepared. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. We offer the strongest solutions in roofing, siding, decking, windows, and gutters, made for the Pacific Northwest. And right now, get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months or up to $3,000 off your next project. No gimmicks, no stress, just reliability you can count on. Visit stateroofing.com or call 866-ROOF-ROOF to schedule your free estimate today.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump signs an executive order renaming the Department of Defense, and already on emails and office nameplates is the Department of War. More from CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The Department of War was the title used until 1949 when branches of the military were united under the Department of Defense, a name President Trump described today as too politically correct. As he signed the executive order rebranding the department, the word defense was literally being chiseled off the walls of the Pentagon, and Secretary Pete Hegseth's nameplate was updated to call him the Secretary of War. The president says he'll seek congressional approval for a formal name change.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro says on his country's radio and TV networks that differences with the United States did not justify a military conflict after counterpart Donald Trump threatened to shoot down Venezuelan jets if they threaten U.S. forces. President Trump says of New York City's mayoral race, in which there are 4 candidates.
I think if you have more than one candidate, we've got ourselves a communist mayor in New York. And I don't like communist mayors.
As reports swirl that he's been approached about possibly taking a job in the Trump administration, incumbent Mayor Eric Adams says he won't quit the race. And as far as Democratic nominees, Orhan Mamdani.
I am in this race, and I'm the only one that can beat Mamdani.
Employers added only 22,000 jobs in August compared to 79,000 in July. CBS's Kelly O'Grady on how it affected Wall Street.
You saw some of the uneasiness in the market today. It sort of shot up when investors were saying, oh, we're going to get a rate cut because of this jobs number. But then that uneasiness, the investors that I'm talking to are saying maybe we should have a bigger cut than a quarter point. Maybe we waited too long.
Unemployment is up to 4.3%. AI company Anthropic has agreed to pay over $1 billion to settle a class action lawsuit by book authors who say the company took pirated copies of their works to train the company's chatbot. CBS News tech contributor Ian Scher.
While this case could mark a turning point in the legal battles between AI companies and artists, it still likely will not change the way that many legal tides are turning around fair use, effectively allowing AI companies to legally purchase content and then use it to train their systems.
Google is hit with a $3.5 billion fine from the European Union in an ad tech antitrust case.
Imagine me and you, I do.
Turtles co-founder Mark Volman has reportedly died at the age of 78. Volman's rep has told People magazine that the musician died today in Nashville after a brief and unexpected illness. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, a heated exchange at the King County Courthouse. That's after Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thanks, Aaron. This report brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs. I think our afternoon commute has peaked already, friends. Our volumes are on their way down across the map. Everett to Marysville, taking you right around 20 minutes. Still a little heavy, though, between the Snohomish River and 529. Bellevue to Everett, Seattle to Everett are both at 45 minutes. 405, you've got scattered backups between Kirkland and Alderwood. I-5 is solid between Shoreline and Linwood. Linwood to Seattle is a 45-minute drive. It's packed from Northgate into downtown. Southbound 99 heavy from the Zoo to Mercer. Our Lake Bridges continue looking good. Bellevue to Renton is a 25-minute drive. It is heavy from South Bellevue around Southeast 8th down to the VMAC. Seattle to Federal Way is a half hour, and Tacoma to Olympia will take you 50 minutes. Your biggest holdup here is about a 4-mile thick backup through JBLM. Fresh food comes from local farms. Check the package for healthier eggs with 3 times the omega-3s. Choose Wilcox omega-3 eggs. Locally fresh since 1909. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granello. A tense altercation broke out at the King County Courthouse today, just minutes after a judge sentenced a teen for murder. KIRO News Radio's Gwen Baumgartner was there.
Tensions running high Friday as a 2023 murder case came to a close.
He assassinated my cousin while he was...
Sheriff deputies worked to separate the family of Marcel Wagner and the family of Miguel Rivera Dominguez, who pled guilty to Wagner's murder. Surveillance video captured the then 17-year-old Dominguez shooting Wagner in the head on a King County bus. The attack, unprovoked. The Wagner family asking a judge for the maximum sentence.
It was an assassination with nobody. He didn't care about nobody.
The judge issued a sentence of 280 months as well as restitution. Gwen Baumgartner, KIRO News Radio.
A woman is dead and her daughter is recovering after they got stabbed inside their Kirkland apartment late last night. Kirkland Police Sergeant Eric Karp.
This is certainly a shock. So it's very traumatic to the neighbors, completely unexpected. This is definitely out of the ordinary.
He says the suspect is a man who's about 60 years old that appears to have been romantically linked to the daughter. He's been booked into the King County Jail. The man known as the Spokane South Hill rapist may soon walk free, as the state is now considering the unconditional release of Kevin Coe. State Senator Mark Schessler says he is outraged the state is considering releasing Coe.
Imagine somebody that police believe committed over 40 rapes walking free today. That's terrible.
Coe was convicted of multiple rapes in the early 80s, though only one conviction still stands today. A hearing on his potential release is set for October 2nd. Seattle is set to celebrate the completion of its waterfront park. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun with more on tomorrow's grand opening.
The 15-year project culminates in a 20-acre park connecting the shore to the heart of downtown. Now, Pike Place Market seamlessly flows into the Puget Sound thanks to this 50,000-square-foot pathway. And the best part, it's very accessible. There are clear street crossings, elevators, and pedestrian paths nearby.
And your weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Some light smoke and haze continuing to hover over western Washington today. Some improvement in air quality as the weekend continues. We'll see cooling temperatures along with a couple of light showers are still possible. Right now, 75 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is Tom Brokaw calling. I'd like to see about getting a reservation for Friday night, if it's possible, at 7:30 if you have anything. I know it's late notice, but it would be for 3.
Oh, Tom Brokaw.
Hunter Brokaw. Tom Brokaw.
What, your name again, please?
Tom Brokaw.
Tom
with
Brokaw?
NBC Nightly News.
Brokaw. Brokaw?
Brokaw.
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 Oh, you miss Sherry, don't you miss Sherry?
Oh, every day.
Every day. Okay, I should check in with her, see how she's doing. She had her birthday the same day as Rye's birthday. I just happened to call her. She goes, "Oh, you're calling about my birthday?" I was like, "Yes, Tommy." All right. We kept thinking it was a typo. That there's going to be between Bruce Harrell and Katie Wilson. Did you think this was a typo, Aaron, when you saw this? 20 mayoral debates?
I was a little surprised when I saw that.
So Joe calls Katie Wilson's guy, what's his name? Nice guy.
Alex.
And says, is that right? 20 debates? 20?
He said, yeah, I'm not really sure about that. It's probably more like 10 or 15.
What the hell? We looked it up to see. So there was a debate last night. We couldn't find it anywhere in the news. No one had it. So then Alex tells us, oh, yeah, they did it at some community, something or other, whatever.
Yeah, community center. It was not just the mayoral candidates, but city council candidates and a few others.
Boy, the excitement, huh? All right, so Katie and what she believes Seattle's biggest issues are. So here's Katie Wilson. By the way, Joe's theory after watching the debate, because you watched the video of it, that Bruce is in trouble.
Yeah, and this is not, we only got a couple of clips, but there was some other things they told me that he didn't have a good showing.
There you go.
Need real progress on homelessness and on public safety. At the same time, we also desperately need a shared positive vision of what our city can be. Seattle is a great city, and it can be a place where you don't need a six-figure income to feel at home.
Okay, all right. So make everything less expensive. Bruce counters on how hard the job is and losing cops. He says,
the fact is, people were living in tents. They're forced to live in tents all over the city. I lost over 300 police officers.
Wait, they're forced to live in tents? Yeah, whatever.
When I took office, a demoralized police staff with 100 more waiting to retire. Every year since I've been in mayor, I've had $100 to $200 million deficit. This is a very tough job.
Okay. All right. So just sort of smatterings of things that were said. The mayor claims that crime is down and he vets every new police officer.
Violent crimes are going down.
What's wrong? Huh?
You're going to hate this.
Really?
Wow, that's a tease.
Okay. You ready? It's 24 seconds long. Is it really going to be that bad?
You are going to be so triggered.
All right, ready?
Violent crimes are going down. Homicides are going down. Shots fired are going down. Why? Because we measure everything. I hired a superstar in Sean Barnes and our chief. Now, I have to tell you, I went to every precinct on every shift, 4 a.m., 11 p.m., and I told our officers, if you don't have my vision, if you don't think George Floyd was murdered on March 20th, 2020, then you should not work for me.
Okay. All right. George Floyd was murdered. Yep. Was it race? Mr. Mayor, what evidence do you have that it was race? And if it was a race crime, and if it was a hate crime, why didn't Ellison bring charges against him? Why didn't they do that? Was he killed because of the color of his skin? What evidence do you have? Silence. It doesn't matter. Thank you, Joe, for allowing me to know this hemming ahead of time. Katie counters with the debacle, the SPD, and oh my God, it's going back to during Diaz. Oh boy.
What our mayor didn't say is that before he hired Sean Barnes, he hired Adrian Diaz, and he stood by him. And we had chaos and we had scandal in the police department when we should have been focusing on public safety. We lost high-integrity career officers during that period. Morale went to rock bottom. We can do better. We need to continue hiring police. We also need to work hard to civilianize roles that our police do not need to be performing so that they can focus on policing.
The advantage that Katie Wilson has is the fact that when you are the mayor, they haven't re-elected a mayor in Seattle in a long time. When you are the mayor of a city that is so, kind of screwy, you got a whole bunch of wounds, open wounds that somebody can stand there and poke at, right? So she's easy. It's easy for her, and I'm not taking anything away from her, but you'd much rather be the contender going after the champ because, again, where they're vulnerable. So there will be, apparently, according to what we've heard, although you says 15, 20 mayoral debates as this thing will just keep, and it's getting close to the point where you get a chance to vote. I'd seen that the Democratic or the Socialists of Seattle haven't endorsed her. I don't know if that's new news or maybe they've changed, but apparently they're holding back their endorsement of Katie Wilson. I'm sure she's in there talking to them about it. During the debate, we don't have the sound of this piece of it. Each candidate was asked, are you to the left? Was it to the left of?
Are you to the? They were instructed to answer with one word, just left or right, and they said, are you to the left or to the right of your opponent?
Oh, and again, according to what we've heard, when that question came up, Bruce Harold said he's to the left of Katie Wilson. I didn't think there was any other room over there, but apparently Bruce, I guess, trying to outrun her to the left.
And he said he has the data to prove it.
Yeah. And then her campaign director said that it would be quite humorous to hear it. We don't have that yet, though?
No, we don't have that yet.
All right, fine. But so there's another debate. I don't know when it's going to be broadcast or where you're going to get a chance to watch it, but if you're into that kind of thing to watch.
The big King 5 one, I think, is on October 2nd. That's the one that'll be aired on TV.
Katie's got well, first of all, I endorsed her.
You did, yes. Her surprise endorsement.
She didn't see that coming. And they'd be like, don't endorse me. I endorsed her as a science experiment. I don't know what the control group would be, but in this particular science experiment, I said, let them have it. Go all in on socialism. Let's see how it works. If you believe that you can tax the rich and give it to the poor and make everybody's life better, let's see you do it. And she then fired back about, Scandinavian countries. Well, Denmark is not socialist, but their vision is we'll get the money from the rich because they don't pay their fair share. We'll take it from the corporations because they're not paying enough, and we'll redistribute it, and we'll create all these programs, and then life will be better for everybody, and you don't have to make $100,000 to live in Seattle. Basically, the idea is the golden goose, that's where we're going to find it all. It's all going to be there. We just need that goose to lay enough eggs and have it keep laying eggs, and we'll keep taking the money from it, and the goose will never realize that all the eggs are missing as we then scramble those eggs in other places. Wilcox Playing Farm Eggs.
Oh, nice.
Another race. This is fascinating. So Eric Adams, you have to understand, 70% or more of the people in New York City don't trust him. There's a scandal that went on, money in a bag, and a bunch of other stuff that went on. So Mayor Eric Adams, who got in there kind of as a law and order guy, and then got soft on that and went back and forth, got kind of mushy. He came to the defense of Trump. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but the folks at the White House were like, hey, listen, we're going to help you out here. We're going to help you out just till you lay off. So it was all this,
He had federal charges pending against him, and Trump made those go away. And he openly said, he said today, Trump said, he had a little problem there, and we helped him with that and made it go away. So, but hoping that he would drop out of the race.
That's where you get transparency right there.
Yeah.
So then the White House said to Eric Adams, they want to get him out of there. And the reason this is getting so much news is because if not, you're going to get a communist or a socialist who's going to be in there running the biggest, most dynamic city, or one of them anyway, certainly the top three.
Trump thinks Cuomo has a better chance of beating Mamdani than Eric Adams.
Right. So because right now Adams is running as an independent. I think Cuomo is running as an independent. So you want to get the field, narrow the field, and get Cuomo in there to go against Mamdani. Because if Mamdani wins this thing, boy, talk about a social experiment. So that's why Adams today I think it was at the White House said, hey, we'll give you an ambassadorship to Saudi Arabia.
They wanted to name him the ambassador of Saudi Arabia.
Because of his experience.
Yeah, well, it's I'm sure, a very high paying job,
right.
But drop out of the race.
Yeah, there we go. Get out of here. Adams says.
To New Yorkers, I want to speak directly to you. There has been so much speculation, communications, announcements of what I'm doing, no matter what I've stated over and over again publicly. So I want to be clear with you. Andrew Cuomo is a snake and a liar. I am in this race, and I'm the only one that can beat Mamdani.
Oh, my God. It'll be nuts if this guy wins. I mean, really. Now, listen, you can come in with a whole bunch of plans, right? We're going to do this. This is going to be free. We're going to open grocery stores. We're going to do this. The unions run that city, as the unions run the state of Washington. So you better satisfy that union. You better make sure that you're paying their pensions. You better make sure when they sit down at the table, you give them exactly what they want. Or you're going to be in a whole bunch of trouble because they could make trouble for you. But before you get elected, the turnout often in New York is pretty low. When one of the worst mayors they had elected there in a long time I think he won with 21% of the votes. If you can't get the turnout, he's not going to win. He's going to have to get black voters. He's going to have to get Jewish voters to vote for him. He's going to need to get Hispanic. He will lose when it comes to the white, rich, guilty folks. They will definitely show up. Whether or not he can get the rest to show up for him, because he knows he's going to be splitting some of that vote with Cuomo. So that'll be a problem, especially if Cuomo picks up 30% of the black vote. Eric Adams gets the rest. It's still not enough for him. He needs to get every single Jewish voter in New York City to go for him. I'm assuming they're going to go Cuomo or Adams. But again, you'll split that vote possibly, and then you get Mondani to slip in there and end up winning. You don't want to build de Blasio. It was de Blasio that got 22% or something like that, and then just ran the city into the ground. The experiment of seeing a socialist/communist running New York City will be one for all of us. And again, I sit back. I don't live in New York. I don't know. I've got friends there and family members that are there. They would get a chance to experience the true experiment of a communist socialist. And he doesn't even back away from those sorts of things. And when we asked Katie Wilson, are you okay with people comparing you to Mondani? She didn't seem to have a problem with that.
No, not at all.
Democracy is the notion that the general public knows what it wants and should get it good and hard.
Yes, they will. H.L. Mencken, as spoken by Todd Myers. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate that. Last thing, this guy has made, we already think who we think is going to win the Seahawks, San Francisco, but the numbers, where's this guy, Russ? Is he in here? Yeah, here we go. On the Dan Patrick Show, speaking more sports, Ross Tucker predicts that.
Ross Tucker, CBS Sports, Westwood 1. You got a hot take for me, NFC?
I can give you one. I mean, I always get nervous about these because then you're going to put it on social media and then it's like, oh my gosh, he thinks that, and I get ripped. But I think a 6-11 team from a year ago in the NFC is going to go to the Super Bowl.
The Niners?
For those of you not paying attention, it's the San Francisco 49ers who have the easiest schedule this year. I believe in their core, guys like Fred Warner and Juszczyk and Kittle. I think the Niners bounce back in a major way. Not the Eagles, not the Packers. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to the Super Bowl again.
There you go. Okay. I don't know, nor do I care about the 49ers. Rye doesn't think the Seahawks have the big chance this year to be the rebuilding year as we look forward to it. Will you be watching every minute of it?
Absolutely.
Do you watch it at a bar? You do it at home?
No, just at home.
Sit at home. Do you scream and yell the whole time?
No, but I'm not. I didn't grow up here, so I don't have that rabid intent.
Where's your love?
Honestly, I'm kind of a man without a team. It was the Raiders growing up, and then they moved away, and then it was the Rams, and they moved away. So it's kind of a Rams.
You're not
fan.
taking it personally, are you? The way every moving away from you?
No, but I just don't have the affiliation like I do with the NBA team or the MLB team. So
the NFL did a study. They found if you can put a poster of a team in the kids' room and they're like 5 to 7 years old, somewhere in there, that becomes your team for life. Yeah. I mean, I saw it when I was an Eagles fan, and I saw when it came to the Seahawks for Rye, and took him to his first Seahawks game. I think he was like 5 years old. And he's really into the Seahawks. And then Todd Lewicki, who was the general manager of the Seahawks at the time, I'm coming at an event with him one day, and he turns to me and goes, have you been to a Seahawks game? I said, nope, I have no affiliation, don't care about the Seahawks, I have no desire to see Seahawks. Why not? I said, I'm from Philadelphia like the Eagles. And he goes, you should come to a Seahawks game. He goes, what do you cheer for? I said, we have season tickets to the Storm. Really? I said, we sit right in the front row, 3 years in a row, pay a lot of money, see the Storm. Why the Storm? I said, because they care that we're there. What do you mean? I said, Todd, you got to go to a game. You got to sit in the front row or sit wherever you want. You have to see the sense of community that they have built. And because you get this feeling that if I wasn't at that game, it would not be as good, and the players need to see me. Go and see how the Storm does that. He said, I hadn't been to a game, and this was a while ago. And he goes to a game, and like a couple days later, calls me and goes, I see it. I understand it. I'm gonna borrow some of the stuff that they do.
You're truly like the sixth man in that situation.
Oh, my God. They're coming over, they're shaking hands with everybody, throwing T-shirts or running around out there on the court with them. And then after the game, people are lining up and they're hugging them. Now, of course, you can't do that with the Seahawks, but just this sense of like, we know you're there. We care that you're there. Unfortunately for the NFL, they treat the fans like crap because you just sit there, you're being used as big props, and then like all of a sudden, it's another timeout, another TV timeout, and then to keep you entertained.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention. Section 131, C11, you get a haircut.
It's like, okay, that, what, huh? I paid $400 for that? A haircut? Or,
Now on the 40-yard line, this young man from Eastlake Elementary School who got an A on his math test.
Like, what? Wait a minute. Where's the game?
Hey, before we toss tonight.
Yes.
We just had our second know-it-all quiz contestant of the day.
Yes.
Cancel on us last minute. One guy's too drunk.
Too drunk.
The other guy got a long-distance call from a relative that he has to take. It's
That
very
old
important.
long-distance call thing.
So we have an opening.
Wow, just like that?
Just like that.
Okay.
I don't believe this.
So if you're drunk, you can still come on the radio. It's okay. We're fine with that. We'll take you anyway. As long as you're not driving, or we'll take marijuana, legal, alcohol.
Sure.
Come on. In fact, the drunker the better. Right, Andrew?
That's what I
Don't we
say.
love that?
The answer is yes.
All right, give me some sportsy kind of music, and I'll be able to really gin it up here. Here we go. On a cold September morning, you got a chance to call 1-888-973-5476. The lines were wide open. 1-888-973-5476.
Are we taking calls or texts?
The texting. Sorry. One interesting thing about yourself. Come on in and play the know-it-all quiz. Drunker the better. Here's Nate over there checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, AAA has our report, and we're looking pretty decent out there. Tacoma to Olympia, you're down to 45 minutes, still crowded through South Tacoma, and it's packed through JBLM, and then slow again heading into Olympia. Southbound 167 is jam-packed from Highway 18 into Puyallup still. Federal Way, South 5, slows from Highway 18 to 54th and Fife. This backup has westbound 18 packed from the West Valley Highway all the way over to I-5. Linwood to Seattle's down to 35 minutes. It's heavy at 85th in the downtown. North 5 is clearing out. Just a brief slowing there at the West Seattle Bridge in the downtown. Bellevue to Everett, 45. Seattle to Everett still at 45 minutes. And a heads up, the downtown tunnel in Seattle closes tonight in both directions for overnight routine maintenance beginning at 10 tonight through 6 a.m. Saturday. AAA Washington's all-new everyday membership gives you discounts and perks at more than 900 local businesses, all for just $25 a year. Join today. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, you get tired of the fact that it's hot in one room or cold in another room, or it's just uneven heating? There is a really, really cool heat pump you can use. Quilt ductless heat pump system. It's great. Not noisy at all. Save you money. Really, really efficient. It is the Quilt ductless heat pump system, and Home Comfort Alliance has it. This is the next generation efficiency, and this gives you room-by-room control. So you're in one room, maybe you want it 70 degrees, a little cooler in another room, so you're able to set it all up, and it is customized for you. And this is the best way to save energy and have a more comfortable home. When it comes to Home Comfort Alliance, the trusted name in HVAC for over 50 years, they are the flagship partner of Quilt, so they're going to make sure that house is very comfortable for you. So you're nice and cool or you're nice and warm, whichever room you want it set up in, you're going to be able to customize that. With Home Comfort Alliance, this is the best. Right now, when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, it's HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can easily find the right home insurance for you, even if it's not with Progressive. But if you don't choose us, then sure, okay, it's not going to work out. We're not going to cry about it or stay awake wondering what our future together would have looked like. We can't get emotionally invested even if it sounds like we are. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer allows you to easily compare home insurance rates and coverages in one place, even if it's not with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. I love you. I shouldn't have said that.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub. It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
A serial killer on the prowl for teen girls in the Pacific Northwest. At least 2 escaped.
She literally crawled out of her grave. Just a miracle that she survived.
Hear their stories. Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. A former Alaska Airlines pilot pleads guilty in federal courts nearly 2 years after he tried to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight. Joseph Emerson was off duty riding in the cockpit at the time. He told CBS News what he was thinking then.
You're not going home. You need to wake up. And that's when I acted. And I pulled the handles that were in front of my face.
Emerson told police he was sleep deprived and thought he was dreaming. He also admitted to taking psychedelic mushrooms 2 days prior. He'll be sentenced in the coming months. President Trump has signed an executive order rebranding the Department of Defense. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports.
We're going Department of War.
Speaking in the Oval Office, President Trump said he believes it's long overdue.
We won the First World War. We won the Second World War. We won everything before that and in between, and then we decided to go woke and we changed the name to Department of Defense.
The president added changing the name reflects the nation's strength, saying Department of War is much more appropriate, especially, quote, in light of where the world is right now. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
A staffing crisis at the Pierce County Sheriff's Office could only get worse due to a hefty signing bonus at a neighboring police force. KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake explains.
Pierce County Sheriff's Public Information Officer Carly Capetto confirms 2 of her department's deputies just took new law enforcement jobs and that the Tacoma Police Department is offering a $50,000 hiring bonus.
Probably one of the highest hiring bonuses any police agency in Washington state has seen.
2019.
Tacoma's offer comes at a time when her department already has almost 24 vacancies, and the deputies union is fighting for a new, better-paying contract. Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Rough jobs report shows the U.S. economy added just 22,000 jobs in August. That was far short of expectations. CBS's Jolene Kent.
What you really see, and you probably already feel this in the economy, is that firms are just holding steady. They're holding on. People are holding on to their jobs. They're hugging them, right? And they're not moving right now because there's so much uncertainty in the economy.
Unemployment also rose to 4.3%, the highest since 2021. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:33 with Nate Connors.
All right, Tacoma to Olympia, we're at 45 minutes. Your biggest concern here is about a 3-mile thick backup through JBLM, starting near Thorn Lane. Southbound 167 still heavy from Highway 18 into Puyallup. Eastbound 512 suddenly is filled in between I-5 and Golden Gibbon Road, about a 3-mile backup here. Federal Way, South 5 slows approaching Highway 18 and remains crowded all the way into Tacoma. This backup has westbound 18 backed up all the way to the West Valley Highway. Linwood to Seattle pushing a half hour. You're packed from 85th into downtown. North 5 is pretty much cleared out now. Bellevue to Everett and Seattle to Everett are both hovering at 45-minute drives. 405 again is pretty solid between Kirkland and Alderwood. I-5 is solid between Northgate and Linwood. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast now is brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors for tonight. We'll see some of this haze continue for the weekend. Improvement in air quality, cooler weather, and a couple of scattered light showers are also possible. Right now, 74 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, Teeny is so busy on a Friday. She always tries to look for sort of extra work. By the way, she did win Employee of the Week again. So she got that going for her. All right, Teeny, spin the wheel for you. Spin the wheel. That's Wilcox 94 Max recipe wheel. All the names of all the players are on the wheel. There they go, spinning around and around and around. It lands on Andrew. Andrew?
Oh, again?
Yes.
I will take an egg to a Mariners game and throw it in the field.
All right. Nice. Don't forget, all these recipes somehow are all brought together into one big leather-bound book delivered to your house.
Yum!
Okay. Let's meet our contestant now for the Know It All quiz. Here we go. Oh, sorry, here's Susan. She lives in Linwood. And the what? Interesting thing about her is she claims that she can quote so many old TV shows, we should do something about old TV shows as our competition. Wow. Hello, Susan.
Hi, John.
Hello. Teeny, say hello to Susan.
Hello, Susan.
There we go. Wow. There we are. Roll in. All right. Well, is it okay to ask how old you are?
Sure, I'm 66.
Oh, good. Well, I had a whole bunch of questions written, like undercover police going to be dressed as what? President Trump's renaming the Department of Defense. We spoke to Cliff Mass, Miami Valley. We're going to screw all that. Okay, you ready? We're going to go with your special. We always wing it, but we're really going to wing this. We're going to go with your specialty. I'm not going to give you an A, B, or C. You're just going to have to give us the correct answer. And you're ready?
Yep.
Hit it there, Andrew. A little fun game show music. All right, Susan, let's see how well you do as you try to name some classic quotes from some classic television shows.
Oh, Lord.
What show was this? What you talking about, Willis?
Ooh. Different Strokes.
Yes!
Correct.
Wow. I'll be back.
The Terminator? That wasn't a TV show.
Yeah.
Come on, gotcha.
Keep going. Here's Johnny.
The Tonight Show.
Ooh. Kiss My Grits.
Kiss My Grits was...
Hey, what's your language?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah?
I know. I'm trying to remember what Kiss My Grits was. I don't remember that one.
Alice. Alice would be the correct answer.
That's right.
Alice.
Flo. That was Flo.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Book 'em, Dano.
Oh, book 'em, Dano, Hawaii 5-0.
Good night, John Boy.
The Waltons.
Wow. Sheesh. Danger, Will Robinson.
That was, oh, God, not Lost in Space.
Yes,
Or was
Lost
it?
in Space.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Who loves you, baby?
Kojak.
Oh, I didn't get that one. Yes. Wow. Won't you be my neighbor?
Mr. Rogers.
There you go. Well, you swept the board. Look at you. Let's see if I get any more in here. Go some everyday part of the. Oh, you test us. Go. You got one for me or Andrew or Nate or anybody else?
Oh, no, I'd probably come up with something so predictable like Gilligan's Island or something. I don't know. I can sing the theme song too. It's really really bad.
Okay. Can you do find cousins? They're cousins. Cousins. Don't go like it. Remember that one?
Which one?
Come on. What was
Patty Duke Show?
The Patty Duke Show. You remember? You know the lyrics to that one?
Oh, like cousins, two of a kind. Yeah, I forgot. I know the show, but I don't think I can do that.
How about Green
one.
Acres?
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me.
Land spreading out
so far and wide.
Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
We used to get drunk in high school. I know that's illegal. But we used to sing the Patty Duke theme song whenever we got really ripped for some reason. And I don't know why people thought we were gay. Anyway.
Well, I won shots at a bar one night, like all night singing theme songs.
Wow. Really?
And I don't even drink anymore.
Here we go. Who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins. Hit it, Susan.
Cousins.
That's right. Tokens, different as night and day. There you go. Here we go. That's Binge, the Minuet, the Ballet Rouge, the Crepe Suzette. Patty's only. All right. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. All right. Listen. Wow.
I can't sing. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So
That's all right. You did pretty well. How's life in Linwood? Everybody okay there?
Yeah, I sell real estate, so I'm everywhere.
By the way, news on that is mortgage rates are coming down. First time in 13 months.
Okay, Mr. Mortgage Man. They've been saying that for 2 years, but okay, we'll see what happens.
Wait a minute. What show's that from? No, that was in the news today that the mortgage rate.
I know the Fed's meeting in the middle of the month. I know.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. You walk in to sell somebody a house, and real estate agents walk in and go, and there's the bathroom, and there's the kitchen. Do you really, be honest? Because hardly anybody's listening now. Yeah. Do you really think you sell a house?
Not like that. No.
What is the success? What makes a good realtor from a bad realtor?
I think education, teaching people. I work with a lot of first-time buyers, so there's a lot of that. And I really think people get a feel for a house when they walk in. They kind of know, and I mean, it depends, but yeah.
And then I think one of the worst part of it is you show them like 5 houses. They don't realize, especially if you have the listing, you're paying for all the marketing. You're paying to put it up there. You're paying all the money. It's all there. And then that's if you have the listing. But if the other one, if you're going around doing the selling and you show them house after house after house, you spend all that time, all the gas and all your time and everything else. And then they go ahead and just like, poof, disappear on you. Right, Susan? And they just buy a house from somebody else. You're like, what the hell? I mean, there's no loyalty.
Well, I've been down that road. I've been doing this since 2013. But here's the thing: there's new laws now that we get buyer's agreements. It's a whole thing. But they can still be, not loyal.
Does the buyer agreement work out for you? Have you noticed that people have to realize, I've got to pay you for what your services are? Is that much more difficult for them to understand what you do for them?
No, because I have a whole packet of things that I provide them of what I provide, and I have not gotten any pushback at all. And I've been using it since it started a year ago. So
that's good.
it's been good. I do about 30 deals a year, which is plenty for me because I do it on my own. So, it's good.
30 a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're killing it.
That's only 2 a month, like a little over 2 a month. I mean, 2, maybe 3, whatever. Yeah.
Wow. She's flexing now.
I'm married to a real estate agent. I'll tell you something. Are you single?
Well, I am divorced. It's
Okay.
the second hated profession. The first one, as you can guess, is car salesman. So, people don't like real estate agents usually.
I'm sorry about that. But listen, if you got to buy a house, you probably want one rather than buying one from a car dealer. All right, well, taking you out with the final song here. Thank you, Susan, for playing along. Teeny Tiny Lady got a whole bunch of box of Bite Me cookies just for you. Hit it one more time there, Ann.
Oh, the cookies!
Take me out. Here we go.
Here's Kathy, who's lived everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. Patty's only seen the sights of cookies from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair!
They're crazy!
Cousins! Identical cousins, and you'll find
It's nutty. They were like different, but they were
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are 2 of a kind.
You're singing that in high school?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Moving on. Now I feel dumb. There's
I'll be down there. Everett to Marysville, 15 minutes. Still heavy from Dagmar's Landing up to 529 as this backup is quickly thinning out at this point. Bellevue to Everett and Seattle to Everett are both taking 45 minutes. We've got scattered backups on 405 between Kirkland and Alderwood. I-5 pretty solid still between Shoreline and Linwood. Linwood to Seattle, you're down to a half hour. It's bumper to bumper at 85th in the downtown. Our lake bridges are wide open. Bellevue to Renton, a half hour, still pretty heavy from Southeast 8th and Bellevue down to the VMAC. Once you get down past the VMAC, though, you're in the clear all the way through South Center. Southbound 167 remains heavy south of Highway 18 into Puyallup. And westbound 18, you're bumper to bumper from the West Valley Highway over to I-5. No blocking issues here. I think it's just that holdup on I-5 that's causing this congestion. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Crawl space and attics are not places you want to spend much time, but many homes in our area can have serious issues behind the hatches. Hi, it's the owner of Crawl Pros, Richard Herron. For years, you've heard us talking about how we go where you don't want to. With our free corner-to-corner inspection to keep your crawl space and attic well insulated and free of mold and water. You've also heard about the pest control division of our company to keep your home bug and critter free. I'm excited to tell you about our newest division, Plumber Pros. Plumber Pros takes the same customer-first approach to plumbing that we do with our crawl space, attic, and pest control work. We've handpicked skilled plumbers that I know you'll feel comfortable inviting into your home. So next time you run into plumbing issues, from leaky faucets and clogged drains to full home repipes and sub pump installations, call Crawl Pros and we'll get our plumbing division, Plumber Pros, out to get it resolved. For anything related to your crawl space, attic, pest control, or plumbing, call Crawl Pros or visit us at crawlpros.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Save up to 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great deals on heating and cooling, backup generators, ductless heat pumps, and more, now is the best time to buy. Plus, with 12-month interest-free financing, investing in your home comfort has never been easier or more affordable. Trust the team at Bob's Heating to keep your home warm and cozy during the chilly season. Your family's comfort is our family business.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO Newsradio or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Remember, your roof isn't just a roof. It's a shield guarding your loved ones and belongings. When replacement time rolls around, trust is key. That's why Guardian's crew isn't just skilled, they're licensed, vetted, and fully insured. And with our Guardian Guarantee, we promise your roof's done right the first time. Call now and get 1 year of maintenance free with the installation of a new roof or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
A serial killer on the prowl for teen girls in the Pacific Northwest. At least 2 escaped.
She literally crawled out of her grave. Just a miracle that she survived.
Hear their stories. Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Pendergast Law. All right. Hudson, please, if you would.
I'm a mailman. You can see. I'm a mailman to be messed with me. I'm a mailman. Everything new. I'm a mailman. Bring the mail to you.
Oh, get so much pleasure. All right. Yeah, we'll get to letter today. First, take care of all the rest. Joe.
Doug in Mount Vernon says, are we sure John's bloody nose wasn't Nicole responding to her birthday comment?
No, she's perfectly fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Carla, 425, she's got this thing for Nate. I love Nathan. He's always so entertaining.
Yeah, he's got a whole fan club.
I think she means the Nathan song, right?
It's just the whole thing.
No.
Yeah.
Nancy.
By the way, I forgive you for your snide comment about me knowing the Patty Duke song and singing that in high school. But let it go. We're letting it go.
Well, I'm just saying, we sang like AC/DC songs when I was in high school.
Yeah, look where you are. Look where I am.
Yeah, good point.
Nancy from Shoreline says, hey, Curly, long time no talk.
Yeah.
You got one thing right. If you don't leave a Seahawks game without a voice, you shouldn't be there. Go Hawks.
True that. 425 Niners fans have purchased 53% of the tickets sold. The secondary market, the stadium, will not have more 49ers fans than Seahawks fans.
I don't know. There's mixed messaging we're getting.
53?
Of the secondary market. So tickets that were for sale.
Got it. Okay. There's a prediction from 425.
John in Bonnie Lake says, I have a friend who's a valet in Los Angeles, and he and his valet friends used to race the nice cars inside of the parking structure until they crashed a Porsche into a Corvette.
See, it doesn't work. Hee-haw. Aaron says, no wonder you haven't scheduled the Porsche for a new paint job yet. You don't even know who's driving it. That's coming, hee-haw.
Cliff Mass and Sea Levels. Brett in Olympia says, hi, John. Great show. Great segment. I'm a science teacher for over 21 years. I have an environmental science bachelor's degree of science, and I hold a master's degree in environmental science as well. I agree with the professor from the University of Washington's assessment that the finances just don't make sense. So what would he suggest? I think he got to that.
Nuclear.
Nuclear power, yeah.
Yeah, plus some others. Joe in Shoreline says, Cliff doesn't look like he sounds. I love Cliff.
Doug in the 360 says, little change in sea levels, so much for me making money on waterfront property in Enumclaw.
Lily in Mason County says, John, please ask Cliff about hydrogen vents found in Puget Sound. Okay, next time we have him on.
Matt Monroe says, John, watch the documentary Nuclear Now. It explains it all.
All right, I will be checking that one out. I'm putting that piece of paper over here.
Now that you're a Netflix junkie.
Oh, please.
Sheesh.
Tina, the 425, says, God bless Dave Reichert. Best interview on any radio show or television news ever.
Wow. Big fan. Sean in Eatonville says you can give treatment, but opioid addiction is so strong it's like a prison sentence in hell that you've put yourself in. It's very hard for people to understand just how evil it is and hard to escape from.
And just for fun,
we drop in under the cover of night. We come to fight. We spy. We creep. We crawl over your wall. We are behind enemy lines.
You like that one?
I do like that one. It just sounds good. Like sonically, it sounds...
Okay. You didn't like all the other ones I came up with?
Yeah, use some second-rate AI generator.
Those are my lyrics.
Yeah.
All right.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Thank you, Teeny.
This comes to us from Mike in 206. He says, John, not even a gay guy would sing the Patty Duke song. I remember the show, but would never sing it out loud. And trust me, I would know. But Patty Duke was very good in Valley of the Dolls. Now that's gay.
I've never looked more gay. we sang that one, and we sang Amy.
Amy?
That's all she wrote.
Amy, what you gonna do?
That's a great song. That's okay.
We were being campy with the Patty Duke. Okay, all right. No wonder I couldn't get a date.
Yeah, but look at you now.
That's right. Look at you now, Nate. Look at you over there. Come on.
All right, Bellevue to Everett, we're down to 40 minutes, 25 to Linwood, down to scattered backups between Totem Lake and Alderwood. Seattle to Everett went up a little bit, 50 minutes, 35 to Linwood, and it's solid between Shoreline and Linwood. Linwood to Seattle is at a half hour. We're heavy now from Lake City Way in the downtown. Southbound 99 remains heavy from the Aurora Bridge to Mercer. Bellevue to Renton has improved to just 20 minutes. You're still kind of heavy between Southeast 8th through Factoria, and then you're going to clear out pretty quickly. Southbound 167 remains heavy in the south end, south of Highway 18. Westbound 18 still bumper to bumper from the West Valley Highway over to I-5. And Tacoma to Olympia is down to a 40-minute commute. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Last week, we discussed how orcas can recognize coastlines and land features. They also have very accurate internal clocks. According to naturalists at Puget Sound Express, the T60 family of Biggs orcas has been hunting in our waters for the past week. August is T60 time. It's basically the only time of year this family visits us, and they return almost to the day each year. At least 10 other Biggs orca families are also in the area right now, as are many humpbacks and minke whales. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend and Port Angeles. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Fred Meyer, QFC, or Amazon Fresh. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Goodbye baseball. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
The Mariners' postseason push is on, and there's a whole new way to be part of the action. Introducing the Homestretch Flex Plan, a $500 membership that gives you the freedom to choose your games and seats for the rest of the season, all while saving 5% on tickets and no fees.
Strike 3 call. Triple digits to end it and complete the sweep.
You can use your credit however you want. Go big with club seats for a couple high-stakes showdowns, or stretch it out into the final series against the Dodgers. And the best part? Homestretch Flex members get priority access to our postseason pre-sale. That means you're first in line when October comes calling. The team is locked in.
J.P. Crawford! Game winner walk-off bastion in the 9th inning.
And now it's time to bring the energy down the stretch. Come on board today at mariners.com/homestretch. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by mynorthwest.com.
The absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic Hot Tub. Get a truly untoppable deal. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a Lux Smart Top hardcover free. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio.